And we're live with Modern Hoops Podcast, show the freshest opinions and views on the world's most beautiful game. I am your host, Greg. I'm here with the homies Brian, TK, Leak. Shout out to our boy Duckman Keith in his absence. How we feeling, boys?
Feeling good, baby. Sunday night, we back at it. Another great week, man.
I told myself we're never doing Sunday nights again after the last one.
Came straight back with it.
Double back. I just want to give like a quick notifier real quick. I got this laptop open. You know I ain't looking at stats. I was doing some other work. Just know I'm here with the eye test and the real opinions.
I will second that with Tamon. More times than not, I'm not looking at no stats. I'm looking at film. But if I do need to use a stat from time to time, I'll go to it. But I'm not.
Don't double back.
Nah,
you can't second
I thought
that.
he was here with me.
I'll use it from time to time. If I had to, probably maybe 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. If it's crazy, 4. But I'm gonna go eye test more times than not.
Hey, everybody good?
Everybody good.
Hey, real quick, people have been asking us. We're friends, guys.
We're all friends.
Wait,
We're good.
who asked?
I wasn't y'all friend last week. Y'all was friends last week. Y'all weren't.
Hey, man.
Like we're good
You
here,
went on
bro.
island by yourself last week, man.
Like
It is what it is.
we actually don't mind each other's company. We good. We friends here. All right. So for those who think that some animosity towards us, or in the moment maybe, but I promise you, nobody's throwing hands at the end of the pod.
Just like your family reunion get heated at the discussion table sometimes, it gets a little heated around here sometimes.
Right,
It's all love at the end of the day.
Now, this podcast is kind of like when you're sitting there and you're at the cookout and somebody reneging spades. Mm-hmm. It's like that kind of argument.
It's
You know what I
exactly
mean?
that. Like, who hasn't been at a cookout or event with at the family function or whatever, and your uncle walk in saying some foul stuff like, "Coos is better than Bi," and you gotta help him. You gotta help him in that moment. But y'all still family.
Facts.
I'm ready to play the long game. I know a lot of things that I say on here. I got to play the long game with, so.
You got no choice.
But you can't win it right now.
I have no problem waiting. I got no problem waiting.
Hey, man, patience, man. Patience is a virtue.
Preach. So
It's going to be a long wait.
And that's what'll make it that much sweeter. That's what it would make it that much more sweeter.
You better.
We're going to be 53. Lee going to be like, Cool still has a chance. What's the first topic?
Let's go.
We can be going to the upper room.
go.
We
These
talking about.
laughs are just going to make it that much sweeter. I'm actually taking it in now, and it's making me actually happier. Not even with this, because some of the other things I've said on this podcast.
Some of the other stuff you were right, and I agree with you on.
Yeah, man.
Just not that
Hey,
one.
we have no problems admitting when you're right.
Like I said, even with your Clippers argument, I agree that the Clippers have a chance at winning the title. Like, I can't argue with you on that, but some stuff you say sometimes it's.
It was just
I
that
never
one
put
moment.
that one was bad, man.
And that's true. Like,
That's
I
true.
feel like out of
That's
everybody,
true.
I'm the only one that hasn't been wrong. So let's keep this streak of me being right going.
What's the topic?
Now I got to do research. But all right, let's get this going.
Shout out Kelly Oubre.
This weekend was really good games. Clippers versus Pelicans, Milwaukee versus the Nets. I think the Lakers versus the Rockets. A lot of good marquee basketball.
Yes, sir.
Out of those games that y'all watched and y'all paid attention to, what was one of them that you took something away from?
Okay, it's 2 games, and I'm going to save the second game for later.
Okay.
Because I'm going to yell about it.
Okay.
But the game that happened recently was the Lakers-Rockets.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what I really found interesting about that is realistically, if I had an MVP vote, I would flirt with giving it to James Harden. What he's doing individually, bananas. What I found interesting about that game, while the Lakers were at Houston,
Yep.
LeBron was getting MVP chance. Sick.
You played a great game.
I could care less.
You in Houston.
You're in Houston with an MVP there. James has one. And now he's averaging 38. And you
He didn't
hear
have 38 that night.
you hear a large majority. He's been actually on a bad scoring streak. Like, just a bad playing streak.
He
But that's
always
what
has runs like this during the regular season, though.
truly, and it probably
You
be
shoot
a little
ball this
longer
way.
because he's playing with Russ. But
Arms
that's
get
besides
tired.
the point.
Right.
But it's just still interesting that you would hear that much because it was a large Laker crowd there, of course.
But
Like
well, I wouldn't even say LA travels well because there's LA fans.
The most
everywhere.
popular fan base. In
I'm
the
an
NBA.
LA fan, and I've never been to California. It happens. Like we're really deep and we're everywhere. But to have an MVP in your city
Feel a little disrespectful.
who's going for 38 a night
True.
and you're chanting
It'll
MVP
never
for
happen
the
in
opposing
Philly.
player, that's sick. That wouldn't happen in Philly. That wouldn't.
It never happened in Philly.
No.
Not if AI was in the building and
Of
Kobe
course.
goes for 60 while AI still has 38.
Kobe's from Philly.
Yeah, I'm about to say that was a
It
bad.
would never
That's a
happen.
bad-
Yeah,
You think so?
it wouldn't
He's
be
not
as
wearing a Philly jersey.
it wouldn't
Hey,
be as
man.
loud as it was for
If
Braun
Kobe
and
walked
Houston.
into Philly and got 60
in a Lakers jersey.
in a Laker jersey,
I don't know
he's
about
from
that.
Philly.
That's a good one though. That's a good one. That's a
That
good
might be
one.
I don't
that
know
might
about
not be the
that.
analogy you want to go with.
You just
So
chose a name that's actually 50-50.
I honestly don't know though. Like I think Philly is one of those.
But Philly, their
bases-
fan bases are reckless.
It
Like,
is. Their fan base
They
is
could
really
care
reckless.
less.
But they also
and they're loyal to the team. If
they
anything.
are,
But
they
they're loyal
also
to their
respect
people, too.
greatness. They
Yeah.
respect greatness.
yeah, I can say this: if Kobe walked into Philly and got 60, and they were beating Philly by like 28 or something like
Okay,
that,
I could see
Kobe's
that.
getting those chants.
He's getting those chances, but not when the game is like 11 points.
Yeah, the game is
Yeah,
actually
but
pretty
the game was
close
over.
for the
Like,
most
that's
part.
the thing. Like it wasn't like they were chanting in the third quarter. The game was over.
But
He
I'm
was at the
saying
line,
they
game
made
was
their
over.
run in the third quarter. Like at that point, like as a fan base, it was a large majority, not majority, but a large percentage there was Laker fans.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like at some point, it's like, wow, like Bron is getting MVP chance against a team he probably has to see maybe has to see in the playoffs while he's on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Big ups to Bron. Like that's something I really gotta respect.
He's still the most popular player in the NBA. Like
All-Star votes show
votes-
it, yeah.
All-Star votes came out. Luka Doncic was in front, and I said, "Hey, only thing this shows me is LeBron about to get a lot of spam votes."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what
next
happened.
one came out. And who's at the top of the list?
All right, so a takeaway from the weekend's games. What you got?
Kyrie Irving can't score on the Bucks. That's a fact.
So
I think the eighth grade. I think not the eighth grade. God, I'm so stuck in teaching middle school. The AC in the Western Conference, I think it's going to be really interesting. Phoenix picked up a big win against the Celtics last night. Devin Booker went off, had a great game. New Orleans, granted, they lost to the Clippers, but they went toe-to-toe with them for the entire game.
Oh yeah, that game was actually really beautiful to watch.
It was a great game to watch.
I was.
So I think the AC for the Western Conference is going to be really interesting because I know a lot of us have been talking about trade rumors, things going on of that nature.
Speaking of a team that's fighting for that AC, Blazers just made a trade.
They did, but they lost last night as well to OKC.
Who did bring up who they brought back in? I know
They got
Trev,
Caleb Swanigan, Trevor Ariza, and
and his pick
it was
winning Gabriel.
winning great.
Now they
guys-
gave
Well,
up
I
two
actually like
second round
Gabriel a
picks.
lot. I don't know why I saw him in summer league. Like he just seems like a player.
I don't see.
I think he needs a chance. But anyway, so I just think that eighth spot in the Western Conference is going to be really interesting coming down the stretch because all these teams feel like they still have a chance to make it.
Right.
So who's going to be willing to either forfeit and say, we're going to get rid of our assets and get ready for next year?
Yeah, who's gonna play? Who's playing chicken in
That-
this sense?
But
Who's
the-
gonna bow out first?
The funny part is, I feel like the Blazers are all in on making the playoffs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
They should be the ones selling.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. And maybe they're all in because they have the biggest star out of everybody who was talking about fighting for the eighth seed. Damian Lillard is clearly like, we all said it, he's the second best point guard in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't.
And he's fighting. He's not even in the eighth spot right now. The Ricky
No,
Ja
they're in
Morant is in
11th,
the eighth spot right now.
And they're up by a game and a half. So basically,
So it's all separated by a couple
it's
of
like
games.
It's a 4-game window between Memphis, San Antonio, Phoenix, Portland, and then 4.5 if you go up to New Orleans.
Yeah.
So I say just outside looking, I think New Orleans is those young guys. I don't see them putting together a span where they can rip off, 4 straight along with everybody else kind of dropping.
I mean, they just did.
But I still think that would still require while they're doing that, somebody else would have to start dropping. They could definitely rip off 4 straight, but then, like I said, that would I don't see San Antonio.
It's always tough when you don't control your own destiny.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I can
my
see
question
that.
is, do you have who do you really have? Like Phoenix, granted,
I don't think
they're
they're gonna
playing
make it.
well.
You know what?
I don't
You know
think
who's
they're
my
gonna make
pick? Who's not in the eighth spot right now? Who I just mentioned?
Who?
The Blazers, because they're all in on making that
But
spot.
CJ McCollum just got hurt for them. He twisted his ankle last night.
Yeah.
It's just like every time they look like they're gonna put a stretch together, something else happens or goes wrong.
I feel like I said it on one of the early pods that like one of my storylines was I wouldn't be shocked if Portland is the new OKC.
I think you said it on
That was my storyline for the year.
Yeah.
Like Portland's done. I think their run has come to an end.
I think it's just the beginning of the end. Well, I wouldn't even say beginning.
I
of
mean,
the end because
even then,
it's
if they make the
starting.
ace seed, I could see them getting swept. So,
There's no point.
but
Exactly.
what I'm
No
trying to say
point.
is, when you have a star like Dame, who's in the middle of his prime, he's not trying to miss the playoffs. Like regardless,
Yeah.
it's either blow this up and let's just trade everybody, or go hard to try to keep him and replace some pieces. So, I think they're gonna go all in on the A seed. Like, if I had to put my bet on it, I would say the Blazers get it. I don't think they should. I think they should just blow it up at this point. Like, there's no reason you have the second best point guard in the league.
And
You
you're
have a
an
bucket
eight
like
seed.
CJ McCollum who's playing all of those games. Then you making all these trade moves, and you're what, 10th, 11th,
11th
They
right
are
now.
11th.
11th in the West,
3 games behind Memphis.
and under 500. And mind you, I think Dame has played like the majority of the season.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
sure if he missed
I
a
think he
game.
missed like 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So your best player is still there.
Yeah.
And you're struggling, but Ja Morant, the rookie, who's on a hot streak, playing beautifully.
That's my
somebody
guy.
who
Love Ja.
I remember having this conversation.
That was my takeaway.
This
if anything.
conversation I had with Manny and Leak, it was a couple years ago. I had 2 conversations with them, both surrounding Zion Williamson. The first one was, I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Trae Young has a better career than Zion Williamson in the NBA. I was just on drugs or delusional or something like that. And then the second one, Manny had agreed with me partially. I said, Ja Morant is hands down the better NBA prospect than RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
And then I took it a step further and I said, honestly, I understand. You have to take Zion with the number 1 pick. But if it was me, I would flirt heavily with Ja Morant, depending on what my team needs.
I think at some point I talked to you or it was one of y'all. I was like, if Ja Morant was 6'5",
If he was 6'5", he's number 1
he's
pick.
number 1 pick.
Yeah, we had this
Like,
discussion.
yeah, I was like,
if he was 6'5", he's hands down the number 1
number 1
pick.
pick. I
But the
agree.
problem was wiry frame, the style of play, it dealt with injuries. Like, he didn't deal with injuries personally, but like the way he played,
yeah,
you could
it
see
could
him.
it could be an issue.
You can see him
in
even
reference
early
to
in
Ja.
Yeah.
even earlier in the season, the way like he had taken some
He had
falls.
2 crazy falls.
Yeah,
like,
where you like, yo, you could have
He
Sean
definitely had
Livingston everything
He
you
definitely
had.
had that Dwayne Wade thing early where he doesn't know how to land.
No.
But a lot of super athletic guards
Yeah,
don't
right.
really.
You're too
it's
high
an
up in
art.
the air to be able
Like
to know.
he's
It's an
not
art.
he's not really good at landing.
And I can say
that's
this.
definitely the Dwayne Wade thing.
But that's kind of also the part that makes him so
Yes.
great is the fact that he's so athletic, so explosive. He has to be reckless. Like if he doesn't harness that ability, it kind of takes away from how great he is.
What I can say is there was they played Houston earlier in the year, maybe like 20 games ago or something like that, and there was a conversation being had with Russ and Ja, and this was a game where he had a really scary fall, and just from reading lips and just the manner of like their hand movements, it seemed like Russ was trying to explain something basketball wise to him. Russ is one of those players who play with super duper high athleticism,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. A player who has torn
Right.
his ACL and his knee and bounced back somehow stronger. But it seemed like that advice, whatever he said to Ja, seemed to be working out because it's only been better and better and better since then.
Yeah, and like I said, he's one of my takeaways this weekend because he had a great couple performances. I think
It's a really great stretch.
I mean, of course, everyone saw the highlight where he like jumps like 40 inches in the air, throws it behind his
Against Cleveland.
Yeah.
neck. I'm like
Pause,
he's who-
everybody's getting their highlights against Cleveland.
Cleveland.
I'm not like y'all really disrespected that city, and I'm not saying y'all
We
should have.
No,
But-
can
No.
you say you're wrong?
Kevin Love is fed up for a reason.
Free Kev Love.
But what I'm seeing out of Ja Morant is telling a lot because we don't see this often. When you have a point guard or any rookie come in and your team didn't make they were a lottery team.
Number 2 pick.
Number 2 pick.
And now they're the
They are
AFC.
the AFC. Like, oh snap! We're looking at
They control their destiny in the playoffs.
they're looking at a franchise player, and it's not like, oh, he's a year 2 from like, no. Wait a minute, it's now.
I think they're looking more than a franchise player.
Yeah,
I said it and I tweeted it. If y'all have seen it on Twitter, just know, like, aside from all of my jokes, sometimes I'd be saying some real stuff. I said earlier, I was like, yo, Ja Morant could be one of the premier guards in the league, blah, blah, early on. And I doubled back on that. Well, I mean, I doubled down on that and said, Ja Morant, with his trajectory, he could be the best point guard in the league.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I can't see anything derailing that.
And we always talk about how matchups work and whatever case may be. I'm definitely looking at something very similar to what, and I think on a greater scale, the Darren Williams versus Chris Paul, what Trae Young and Ja Morant will be.
That's interesting.
Trae Young's the Darren Williams then, because the way I look at Ja, well, no, because
Exactly. That's why I say on a greater scale. I don't see neither one of them really falling off. Both of their game styles are kind of sustainable.
They're both of them are very much ascending right now.
Exactly.
So
they're ascending and it's sustainable.
We got to see, who's basically, path of ascending, which is going to be steeper as far as like how good they're going to get. What I'm always going to like about Ja long term is just for the fact that he's not going to have issues defensively like we think Trae might have when it gets time to play in the playoffs. I think Trae definitely, I feel like once he gets to that point when he's on a team, he's in the playoffs, I think we're going to see multiple 30 and 40-point outbursts. But I think with Ja, we'll also see, along with a lot, I feel like mid to high 20-point double-figure assist games, I think we're going to be able to see him really potentially not so much take a point guard out of the game on the other team, but just give them a lot of problems that I don't think Trae will be doing.
Of course.
Ja Morant, at least from whatever I'm hearing from the people around him and the coaches around him, say he take it very seriously on the defensive end. So I can agree to that. But in terms of just what we've seen out of both of them thus far, like you can make the case Ja could be an all-star.
He could be He could be.
Wait. You talking about
not this
pause?
year?
Are you talking about this year?
Not
Yes.
this year.
All right,
Not
we're
this year.
gonna have to
You can
quiet
make the
down
case.
that because it's
Not this
just
year.
the fact that it's the West and there's a lot.
That's
of
the
guards.
only reason why. That's my only reservation.
Even the
They are
East,
gonna
I
know.
would flirt with like.
Here's why. In terms of his impact on the team,
Yeah,
you
effective
add one
definitely.
player.
Impact, yes.
You add one player, and now you're
But
in
it's
the
not
eighth
just
seed.
one player. Like Jaren Jackson
Jaren Jackson
has become really good.
Really good.
Brandon
Dylan Brooks
Clark
is
for them
playing
has been
really well.
really good.
I'm not taking anything away from them, but at the same time, we see like the point guard is making a huge difference in
Facts.
terms of the mentality of this team, in terms of how they go about playing game.
No, it
It's
seems like
hard.
he's the heart and soul right now.
He is. Like he's definitely the engine that makes them go.
In the East, he's an all-star. If this team was in the East,
problem
he's an all-star.
is he averages 17 and 7.
Yeah, I just wouldn't say that's all-star numbers. Like,
That's the only, like, if we want to argue impact,
pause.
all that is true.
Like what is Fred averaging?
Who?
Fred VanVleet.
Like 17 and 8.
You see what I mean? And the Raptors are what, the fifth
Fourth
seed?
seed.
Fourth. Is this like I've never been like a
Raptors
numbers
are
guy?
3 today.
Oh, even better.
They're 3? So the Celtics are 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, Celtics lost. Raptors won last night, so that makes sense.
But like the problem was that like remember fan voting is 50%.
Well, fan voting just decides all the starters.
Yeah.
So after that, it's on coaches and players. So, and the problem is,
And Fred's averaging 18 and 7.
18 to 7.
so he's like very similar numbers.
And he's coming off the bench.
That too.
Nah, Fred's starting.
Well, Kyle Lowry was
It
hurt.
depends.
Fred's played 32 games and he started 32 games.
Okay.
Really?
Fair.
Take that for data.
Good job. Good job.
Stats
See,
matter.
stats
Shout
matter.
out Fred.
Stats matter.
Shout out Fred.
Fred VanVleet. He's balling. He's had a really good year.
Mind you, I was saying from the beginning of the year,
That
I
he
was
should start.
nervous. I was saying Fred
Yeah.
should be coming off their bench just because I feel like there was no points
Yeah.
circulating through like that.
Yeah,
second
Norman
year.
Powell's giving him that though.
Which is what I wasn't expecting. So I was like, if he's going to do that, then okay.
But
Shout
yeah,
out
so it's just
Fred.
hard to put Ja in there at 17 and 7, especially when coaches are going to be the ones making the decision.
True. And I can understand that. I guess,
But his
maybe-
impact is
and that's
all-starish.
That's the thing.
I'll give you
His
that.
impact
I
is
think that's
all-starish.
the thing for me.
I agree
So
with
it's like looking at the fact that you just added the point and like, oh, now look at this team and look at, we're starting to see it already materialize in front of us. It's like, okay, this may be something we have to pay attention to. But Memphis is right there in terms of guys. You like making moves. If there's a team out there that needs to start thinking about moves to make, it should be them.
I have one fear with them. It's that they're ascending too quickly.
Yeah.
They need another draft pick.
I've
So they're playing too well, too fast.
Because I'm gonna back him on this. They're not a market where people go to sign. Generally, everything is homegrown.
Like, you know what this is? I hate saying this. It might end up being Chris Paul 2.0 in New Orleans. Where Chris Paul got there,
He
and
was
he
so
immediately
great.
made them
Yeah.
like a playoff contender. So
But
it took
then-
them out of the lottery range almost.
Wow.
So they couldn't get another draft pick to pair
Because
alongside
if
him.
they could put something in the backcourt with Ja,
Like, they could get Anthony
I
Edwards.
was
Yeah,
just
they're-
about to
they're-
say
I've been
Anthony
saying that all the
Edwards.
time.
You said that.
I've
what,
been
2 weeks
saying
ago?
he's been
they're
Anthony
they're
Edwards.
playoff like
They're an Anthony Edwards away from creating some real sexy.
So right now, if they make the 8 seed, they're gonna do that just to play 2 extra weeks of basketball.
Pretty much.
They could punt on this, get an Anthony Edwards, and if he comes in like what we think he can come in as, they have a chance to compete for a second round spot next year.
Facts.
Because Ja's only going to improve, Jaren Jackson is only going to improve, Brandon Clark is going to be a solid 4-man for
They would
them.
need.
Dylan Brooks is
I'm a huge fan of
They
his.
would need some veterans with like deep
But
playoff
shockingly
experience.
though,
got
they have it.
shooters.
They have a couple,
And
but
Jay
like
Crowder, like
they got some
I
guys
don't think
there.
that's
They
enough to
actually
make
like
the
being
second
there.
round in the West. Like we're still in the Western
Yeah, I'll say
Conference.
first
here.
round next year.
they could compete though.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can go
win
6.
a
They can
game.
go 6.
And
They
that's
can go 6.
competing.
That is
competing.
competing.
I give you that.
But like second round, like I can't see.
I'm
them
not gonna
getting out
stamp
the
it in there,
first
but
round.
they
Yeah.
can.
But they can definitely go 6 with a team, and they could be surprisingly going 6 against almost any team.
Would Anthony, if let's say all these guys continue to progress,
But that's if Anthony Edwards is what we
And
expect
what
him
we-
to
I'm
be.
not sold on Anthony.
Because
to be honest.
Anthony, like Georgia, just lost to Mississippi State,
I'll
and they
say
got
this,
blown out.
I also would say this, like, mind you, this guy's just now starting to come around, like fighting through the shoulder injuries, and I'm proud of him. You want to talk about a takeaway for the week? I'm proud of Markelle Fultz.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I like that.
Definitely,
Markelle.
definitely.
agree to that.
Tamon,
I
you
can
know
agree to that.
how much I
Nah,
stamped him.
the way
agree to
the
that.
way
Remember how
I
you said I was
stamp.
crazy for thinking Markelle was going to be an X factor for Orlando? He is the only reason they're the HC right now.
Shot.
He's
I'm
the only reason.
proud of him. So basically, what I'm getting at is like, Washington was bad when Markelle was there, but like certain guys, they're picking some of these freshmen. They're picking certain schools where it's like, yo, I'm not going to national championship. There's only going to be one of them, so let's make sure I can pick a school where
I can
all
show
these
out.
NBA scouts can see what it is I do. What's good?
I know you don't care about stats, but the reason I like Markelle more than Anthony is Markelle was at Washington with a horrible
At that
roster.
time, no.
30.
If we're talking about both coming out, yes, I like Markelle more
Okay.
than Anthony coming out.
Okay.
But mind you, that's because if Markelle doesn't have the incident that he has,
Oh my
man, like
gosh.
that guy, had he's been able
Philly-
to come
Philly be a
straight into
championship right now.
Because he was the only thing
Well,
they
he was
needed.
the piece that
He
they've
was the
been
only
trying
thing
to
they
find.
needed.
Perfect piece for
Washington,
them.
23,
The point
6
guard that can
Markelle,
actually stretch the floor, and oh my
Go
god,
off
like
the dribble, pick
he
and
was
roll.
the piece that they're
and if
needing.
it wasn't for the summer injuries and et cetera, like
Nah, exactly. So basically, what I'm
I could see like Philly would have put that Raptors team out.
yeah. If Markelle
If Markelle was Markelle. If Markelle was Markelle.
that would have been Markelle's third. Last
Yeah.
would have been his third in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it is 23, 6 and 6 Markelle with 3 years of great NBA experience, I can definitely see that. Because for one, they have no need to trade for a Jimmy Butler.
Nope.
There's no need to. We got something like that way cheaper.
Yep.
So, but basically, what I was getting back to with Anthony Edwards, let's say he comes in doing what everybody's expecting him to do.
Mm-hmm.
Are they better than Dallas?
No, because Luka's better than Ja.
True, but let's talk about.
It
the top to
depends. It
bottom
depends.
from
It
that
depends.
Because after
Yeah, I
Luka
would say
and
what
Kristaps,
does Dallas
They're
get?
better.
What is
Luka and Kristaps
Because if Dallas is in the play, Dallas is
going
going to be bare minimum a 6.
Six
They're a
seed.
5 right now, so they're not getting a lottery pick. So whoever they
Dallas is
get,
still better.
it's not going to be
I trust
changed
Dallas
too
to make
much.
a move more though. Like Dallas is gonna make a move for a third guy.
I just can say Luke is that much better than Ja right now.
And I think Kristaps is that much better than Jaren.
That's true.
And mind you, this will be his second year coming off the injury, so he's gonna be like even more Chris Stappish.
But then, like I said,
We gotta trademark that.
I'm saying more so afterwards. So like after those top 2 guys,
Then it
who is high on people in Dallas? They have great role guys.
They do.
But
And
like
playoff role guys,
who's a
actually,
third?
like
Who's
Seth
but who's
Curry.
that third guy for them?
Like I said, I think they're good. I trust Dallas to make a move for that.
Because Tim
third guy.
Hardaway is not the third guy.
No, he's not. I don't trust Tim Hardaway Jr. at all, especially in the playoffs.
Nah,
So
yeah,
that's what
he's
I'm saying.
baby
If you-
J.R. Smith.
If you add Anthony to that mix, so now either Anthony is your third guy
like-
or Jaren Jackson is
Like
your third
you know,
guy.
you know what's funny
I'm not
about
gonna
this?
hate on
I think
Tim
Anthony Edwards is gonna be like Tim Hardaway Jr. Like that's why
I think he'll be better than Tim.
I think he's gonna be.
Because Tim
like,
was never what Anthony was like. It took Tim. I think Tim did.
He was a junior.
I was gonna say
he finally had that breakout year.
It took him 3.
So I agree. Anthony has more potential.
And
but
Anthony
I think
has
his
a
role in the NBA is going to be like a Tim Hardaway Jr. Like 18 points a game, microwave guy.
I think he
make
could,
buckets when we
I
need
think he could do it at that starter clip. Because Anthony has, for one, a grown man body. If they don't have the college rule, I think Anthony could have been in the league right now.
He'd have struggled.
I think he could have.
He'll be on somebody's roster.
Yeah,
of course.
I
think he'd be in the G League.
No, I think he would have stayed in the NBA roster.
I think they'd be moving him up and down because I don't think he's ready to get minutes in the league.
I think he is, just from the standpoint of, for one, I think, and a lot of guys even in the league say this, like,
I could see him on the two-way.
It's harder.
I mean, he'd be on a rookie deal, but they just be moving him up.
At times, it's harder to score in college than it is the league for a few reasons.
There's not as much freedom.
There's not as much space.
Not as much spacing. The 3-second rule. You're allowed to just sit in the paint. This is one reason why UVA's pack line defense is so great. If I'm not guarding the ball, I can chill in the paint and put 2 feet in there. When you're in the league, if you can't help, and I have to always have 2 feet outside the paint, dudes that big, that strong, that fast can cover that much ground with 1 to 2 dribbles. If I beat you and you're outside the paint on the opposite side, you're probably not going to get to the rim in time.
Yeah, I'm punching it.
And a guy that big and strong like Anthony Edwards, he's punching it. And that's usually young guys that have success early in the league, partially due to the skill, partially because they are physically ready.
That's true.
And Anthony checks off the physical part.
So I agree.
Thanks, moderator.
I agree. I don't see any issues with any of that. I think Dallas for sure still has the upper hand though.
I still take Dallas
because their top 2 are definitely 2 of the. They're gonna be.
We're talking about Luka going for MVP.
They can get you 4 games.
Like we're talking about Luka going for
Them
MVP.
two alone can get you 4 games.
Forget it. I need to see next year. I need to see a Dallas Memphis series. Because should we not expect Dallas to compete for a top 4 seed next year? At the
It
rate
depends on what moves they
takes
make.
place. It depends on what takes place.
I mean, realistically, all the teams are going to probably come back the same. The Clippers might lose Montrezl Harrel. That's about it.
And I've been thinking about that more and more, man. There was a big that had came up in a trade discussion, and it was like, we might need to move Trez for him right now. Because I talked to Taman about it, like, Trez is in a contract year.
He's gonna get paid.
There's not enough room.
Nope, they can't keep him
to pay what it is.
Oh, this is when you were debating on whether to move him now.
Yeah, for a quality bid.
That's stupid.
I don't think.
And that's what I
actually think it's the right thing to
I
do.
told him I was like,
I'm not saying I'm saying we need to think about it. And what I told Taman, basically, the barometer is they have already beat the Lakers twice. They play, I think, next Monday.
Yeah.
In the event, I'm saying if they can win, because each time that they've played, the Lakers have been there locked in trying to win. So I'm saying, let's say if they could pull out 3 of these first 4 meetings with Trez, then it's like, okay, maybe this is a sample size to show that maybe we can go all in. Because, yeah, if we keep Trez past the deadline, it's saying finals and we'll let him leave.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And not only finals, like,
I agree with
ring
that.
him, we'll let him go.
I agree with that. Ring him and let him go. The reason why I would say that is because the chemistry between him and Lou, it's kismet, bro. Like it
is the weirdest.
It is beautiful.
It's super weird, but they love each other.
I
don't know how. Yeah,
and I don't think Lou can.
They're like a 10-year age difference. It's a weird chemistry. It's beautiful.
I don't think they can create that with another big.
No, they can't.
So I think you have to leave that alone because that is a key part of their offense.
So
when PG and Kawhi sit down.
So going back to what you were saying, the thing they can't do is get locked in on Lakers because they got to win 2 series before they get to the Lakers.
That's true, but I think any other team besides
Montrezl will get eaten alive by Jokic.
I think that's the series, honestly, where he would potentially, in the weirdest way, I think they would be changing up lineups around because I was watching that game. We were podding last week when that game was going on, and pretty much when that game went to trash, as soon as Zubac came out the game. And then, Trez got extended minutes guarding Jokic. And then, the cat was out the bag that, like, it can't. And we get it. Mind you,
I don't think he can handle Gobert.
But the thing about Gobert is they're not going to be giving him as many touches as Jokic. So, like,
Will is Trez is guarding him. That's the point.
But if in the case, but then it's give or take at that point. Okay, if you're going to force feed Jokic that series, or if you're going to force feed Gobert, cool, because that's less times I got to worry about Donovan touching it. So I'll live with that. I'll live.
I think,
as a coach,
I think Utah would live with that because Donovan's dealing with Paul George and Kawhi. Like, he's already at a disadvantage. So, yeah, we can dump it down to Gobert and get Trez in foul trouble.
But then when it gets to that, point, then we're probably going to see a lot more of just Zubac playing. Because Zubac is still a quality big. Is a quality big.
I think this is something, and don't touch it, bro. Don't touch it. You put this mob together. And granted, we could say what we want to say about them sleeping on other teams and not showing up versus certain teams in terms of the Clippers. We could say that. And then always really locking in on the Lakers. Yeah. That looks like to be a trend.
But let's be real that the top two teams in LA, in the West are in LA.
Exactly.
Like let's be real.
And at the end of it all, you got to play the Lakers to finish.
We know what goes through there.
We all agree that the Lakers are right now. They're the 1 seed. It looks like the West is going through.
And it's too much of it's too much of a gamble offensively too. It's too much.
It's a gamble. It depends on what you get back.
We can't get this guy because I know this GM is not making any more deals with us. Had there been a way we could have got, because Steven Adams still might be on the market.
I don't think Steven Adams is a good fit for y'all.
Yes, he is.
Y'all need a floor spacing 5.
I don't think so because, for one, we have shooting between, of course. They give PG the clay green
super duper green.
They give him, and then
Kawhi gives himself the clay green, bro.
Nah, he's earned it. He's earned it.
Bulling, bro.
He's PG.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Kawhi puts him up when he wants to.
Shamit.
Shamit's struggling this year.
He's been hurt.
He's still putting him up.
He has been hurt. But he's struggling. Like, at the end of the day, he's struggling for whatever reason.
But I think by the time he's been getting, go ahead, my fault.
Like I said, I agree. They have shooters. Don't get me wrong. My issue, and this is something that has been brought up by a lot of Western Conference scouts. They're saying, like, yo, the problem with that team still is, and this is what I said at the beginning of the year, they don't have a real creator for other players. Everybody's a one-on-one bucket for whatever reason. Even Landry Shamet is somebody who, like, he's got to be set up. Like, he's better with
He's a shot maker, yeah.
Like, only people that really create their shots on that team are Lou, Paul, and Kawhi. And those are 3 guys who, at the end of the day, are one-on-one ISO scorers. Can they make plays sometimes? Absolutely. But they're one-on-one scorers.
But if you've seen this year, Kawhi, this is the most Kawhi's average in assists.
I agree. Like I said, he can be a player. And I said from jump, I had to see that from him. He's shown it to me this year, so I can't knock him for that.
Yeah.
But
and Lou is actually an under because we talk about the connection him and Trez have. He's become a
But it's only with Trez, though. It's the only person he passes to.
And I'm going to ask a question right after this, but my point is that when you take Trez out, now it's like, okay,
Lou's still 20 points.
But now you've also lost 18 or 12.
It depends,
that connection.
It
depends on what is replaced.
12 to 18 points from Trez.
But immediately what you do
and
lose
system,
is that connection.
in terms of how that came to be is completely changed.
Yeah.
Like, he's not doing that screen and roll cute stuff anymore with just anybody.
Like, somebody I heard that I think would be a good replacement is Aaron Baines. Like, Aaron Baines is a solid pick and roll player, can also stretch the floor, big rebounder, and rim protector.
On all the time.
He can get dunked on. He's still a solid
I can say this. He gets dunked on all the time because he contests all the time. Exactly. And that's something I have to respect. Like, I can't sit here and just, make jokes and laugh at somebody who gets banged on when a lot of people just get out the way.
True.
So would you just immediately have somebody who's willing to give up to or willing somebody who's going to contest it to but still get banged on? Like, I respect the heart.
Like, the hardest thing for an ISO scorer to do, like, this is something we talked about before the pod. It's hard to beat a defender one-on-one hard enough in the NBA. When you now have not only your big man and a help defender always in the paint, because Montrezl isn't coming out at 15 feet. He's got to be near the basket.
Yeah.
Zubac is the same way. They got to be near the basket in order to be effective. Even when they're setting pick and rolls, you know they're diving. There's no chance they're popping. So with that being said, I think Clippers need a floor spacing 5. They need somebody who can pick and pop, open the lane up a little bit, just a little bit more. For Kawhi and Paul George.
The reason I feel as if it's not so much because in those moments where we need a spacing 5, those are the days where Pat Patterson plays more.
That's
and mind
tough.
you, Doc
Pat
knows.
Patterson had that first week.
Doc knows what he's getting out of him. Pat only plays sparingly, but I'll say this: when he has played,
He's come up
he
sometimes.
has help. But like I said, Doc is aware of that as well. So Pat is not in the starting lineup every night. He'll start one night, depending on the team they play, and he could very well get a DNP the next night. Doc is well aware of what he's doing with that.
I feel you.
So
he's playing 13 minutes a night. Like I said, he's shooting 36% from 3.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, the nights that he is in there, he actually is serviceable.
I think...
Man, you end up with him in clutch moments.
I'm going to leave it. I don't know. I say leave it alone.
Honestly,
I would leave it alone.
I would like to bring in somebody, but I think there's not going to be something that's going to give us something enough for now, so we might as well just go all in.
And that's something a lot of people, like I said, I was reading an article on Bleacher Report. They were talking about this idea of possibly getting rid of Montrezl. The problem is he's not viewed that highly amongst the rest of the league. Like, a lot of people view him as the only reason he's really successful is with Lou Williams in the Clippers system.
Which I don't like.
I
don't like that people are really trying to swipe Trez as if he can't play outside of his team. I think people are sliding.
Has he shown
him.
it?
I mean, I hate that I'm about to do this. The very same case you make against Draymond could very well be the case
against
for Trez.
Montrezl.
But the thing is, why? I'm gonna just use that same thing and flip it. Why is it people are swearing that Draymond is this ultimate guy? But like I said, why are we not giving Trez the same benefit of the doubt? People are making it seem as if you could take Draymond off that team and he would still be this and that and this and that.
From jump, you got to put him with a good coach. That's always my preference. If you put him with a good coach, he's fine.
I mean,
I would like to trade. Yeah, and I've heard people already saying that
I think
Trez
people
is the
say that
Draymond
about
of this team.
Draymond too. I mean, people put Draymond in the most overrated categories. Like,
Exactly.
like he goes. I think he goes in those categories too. So I don't think people are overrating Draymond. I think everyone knows a
lot of people overrate Draymond.
Some people overrate him. Some people underrate him. It's whatever.
I don't know.
It's a
who
preference
underrated
thing with
him.
him.
I
think that's where we're at.
I think
but then
he's
again,
polarizing.
But
I think the
he
same
tied,
polarizing
didn't he
could
tie
be
with
for
Russ
Trez.
for like
Yeah,
most
most
overrated
overrated.
player in the
Yeah.
NBA? And that was,
And by
mind
his
you, that was
peers.
the
I
rest of
said
his peers.
nobody's underrating him, meaning everybody. I think everybody knows he's overrated. I think if anything, people give him too many props than give him too little of props.
But what the statement I'm trying to make is he's getting voted all the time most overrated
by his peers.
So
everyone
the
knows.
people who matter, that's
Then they
not
know,
underrated. They know what's good with him.
So yeah, everyone knows Draymond is Draymond because he's standing next to Steph, he's standing next to Clay, his coach is Steve Kerr. He's a product of the system. Everyone knows he's an all-star because of the system. No one takes that away from him. The very same case could be made for Trez. Then that's why I don't want him.
It's the case being made for him right now by people in the NBA.
And that's why I wouldn't want him to leave. I feel like this is a situation where
I
this
think-
is where we get the best Trez.
I think regardless of where, I could say this. Potentially the best version, yes, of Trez is here in LA because of what would only be required of him. Really, all he has to do is go in there with the second unit. You're
rim
playing,
run and get a board.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
And I think with what is just asked of him, I think he can do all of those at a very high level within the minutes that you give him. Yeah, probably going to another team, they're probably going to potentially ask him to do certain things at the time that maybe not, aren't in his bag right now. And I'll say this, Trez is expanding his bag a lot year by year.
Yeah.
Because this is not the guy that was at Louisville a couple years ago.
No,
that's true.
And this is not the guy that first entered the league and was on the Houston Rockets.
No.
Because right
Very
now,
true.
a lot of people might be saying a lot of foul stuff about him. Houston would like him back right now.
I don't think it's foul. I think it's just people.
Well, not foul, but people are saying these things. But I know one team that would like to have him back is Houston.
I think they're okay with Capella.
But out beside him, I'm not saying Trez is a starting five.
But that's the thing. He's going to get paid like a starting five this summer. And that's the thing. If you're talking about trading
They're
him.
going to pay him like a very good six man. And mind
He's
you,
going to get
we've
paid
known
somewhere
this in the
between
league.
15 to 20 million.
In the league,
terms
in the
of-
league,
in
have
the
we not
terms of-
seen quality six men get paid?
Oh, and we've seen him get overpaid too.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's going to happen, especially since we're looking at the guys who's available, and it's slim.
This free agency, he's going to be one of the
top
top names in
He's
free
one-
agency.
He's a top five name.
But people are saying, he really isn't worth that, especially
80,
outside
90
of the
mil.
Clippers. At the end of the day, granted, has he improved? Yes. This year, he's shown me he's got a little bit more flip shots around the basket. He's shown he can pop out a little bit.
Floaters.
Passing is a little bit better.
He's an undersized big that you can throw him out on the floor, and he's gotten 18 plenty of times.
Yeah.
With Lou Will. That's been the thing.
Nah, but some of these shots are just him straight up iso. It's not all rolls and dump offs. He's taking a lot of these bigs.
That's most of it though. He'll give you about 2-3 flip shots a game, and then the rest is dump offs. And that's what people are saying. They're like, yo, he does some things that you like, but at the end of the day, he's a 6'8" center, has no real range, isn't really a great defender or rim protector. What is he without Lou Will pick and rolling with him?
I can see both sides. I
Yeah.
think he has a bag that he can expand on as an individual
Yeah.
without Lou Will, without the Clippers. But I do believe his main success throughout his NBA career has been due to his connection with Lou Will. So it's a strange scenario where I 100% believe that he could be a better player, not a better player, but he could still be at least himself without Lou and without the Clippers. But we haven't seen any reason to believe why he would be.
And that's the question people ask.
The reason why I think he'll be good is because, okay, if we're talking about teams that you're saying he's one of the main reasons he's good is because he's with a guy like Lou, very crafty scorer, very great in the pick and roll, correct? Mm-hmm. Is the pick and roll not probably the most called action in the league?
It's everywhere.
Wouldn't you say pretty much every team has at least 1 to 2 guys that you would say are kind of somewhat?
But there's also
pick and roll.
You know where I'm going, right?
There's levels to it, bro.
Like even you said, and I said, like, there's something weird going on with him and Lou Will. It's just weird.
It is a connection between
them. It looks like a broke man's Karl Malone Stockton
it's
thing.
Weird. I can't describe it. Because there's sometimes Lou makes a pass. I don't know where Trez even came from. And you're just like, how did he know he was there?
He's already up with it. It's like he knows exactly where to be.
So, yeah.
They got a rhythm.
Could he go play with Trae Young and get a lot of easy dump offs?
I think Trae Young would make Trez look very good.
I mean,
I think he would.
Yeah,
I think he would. But would he look good with Lou?
You said Aaron Baines. You know who he would look pretty good next to?
Who?
Devin Booker would make him look very good in that pick and roll. Devin, because of the threat that Devin is off this ball screen, you have to hedge and double anytime there's a ball screen.
I mean,
with
of course,
Devin.
I'm not. It would look. It'll be successful.
Is that not all we want? You literally just said this play's gonna be successful, but what? No, you just said it. You just said that type of ball
would he get
be
19
successful.
a game with those guys? That's my point.
It might not have to be
it's
19
more like
a
12
game.
now.
Exactly. That's all we're saying.
I don't think it would be a drop off.
There's levels to it. And Lou right now looks like
and here's the other thing.
Super Saiyan right now. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the other thing people say that a lot of people are saying about him, or scouts are saying about Montrezl. The thing you also have to keep in mind with Montrezl, for as great as he's playing, he's still playing against second units most of the time.
And that's okay for him to be a guy that kills
until you get paid 90 million.
Until you get paid 18, 19 million, and we need you to start. You now have to go against Anthony Davis. You now have to go against Jokic.
I think that's on a team now. I think that's on a team to now look at Trez and be like, yo.
A great fit, you did name it, it's Atlanta. I will give you that. If he was in Atlanta next to
mind
him,
he would
that could work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Work.
It's up to a team now.
That's a really small team.
He's best with a team where he can be in their second unit. He's best. And he can be your sixth man.
So that's what people are saying, though. Like, yo, are you going to pay a sixth man?
Yeah, I say that's what they're combating.
Who needs other people to set him up?
That bread.
$18 million. Like,
well, then that's on the team that still signed that check at the end of the day.
That's true.
That's up to a team. Like, it's not like Trez. Like, of course, everybody's gonna want a certain amount of bread from your boss. Are you gonna go in there tomorrow morning and be like, boss, give me this?
I'm gonna do it one day.
Depends. What about SOL scores at the end of the year?
It depends.
I told myself in May I'm asking for a fat check.
But I'm just saying it's up to a team still to, yes, he might ask for whatever, but a team still has to hear that out and write that number on the check.
And I think it's gonna be real
Trez is not gonna rob the league. A GM is gonna write his name on that check.
What I'm gonna say is the issue is, let's say he doesn't receive that amount of money from a team that's contending.
Then that's better for the Clippers then.
But what I'm trying to say is he could end up on a mob where he gets that bread and he looks horrible because that mob sucks.
And then
because it's sometimes that people chase the money and like the actual like the of course the financial situation, which I'm never mad at.
Exactly, I'm
get paid.
Because if anybody's
get paid.
Cleveland for 90 mil.
You heard me on this pod all the time. I said you always sign your first big one. Always
take the risk, take the chances going forward.
Whatever, I don't care how bad you look in that situation. You sign your first big one. But the issue is now he might be known as that guy who only looked good next to Lou Will because now he signed for the money and he's on this horrible mob.
And then his stock drops once he comes out of that contract, so he'll have a harder time getting somewhere else.
Well, this might be his last.
Yeah, I was about to say it ain't.
No, I mean just
guys like Trez aren't gonna get two big ones.
I mean just.
Are you talking about they trade him now?
No, I mean, like, I'm going back to TK's point where if he signs somewhere and he gets the check, right? He gets the bag, but he's on a team that's not really successful, not with a crafty guard like a Lou, or just it's good at doing a pick and roll like Lou was. And then you see his level of play decrease, his stock drops going after that contract.
He's still sitting on that check though.
Yeah.
He still is at that point in time. It's all good.
But
So the question is, does he ever get a chance to play for a competitive team again?
That's on
That's the
him.
question.
And
that's
the-
something.
and that's
thing-
the risk you
But-
got to live with.
But it's actually not that big of like a risk or question because Trez controls where he does and
That's
doesn't
true.
want to go to.
I mean, but like the issue was this whole thing didn't start with how much Trez is gonna try to make in his career. The whole thing started was would he still look like Trez outside of the Clippers? So if he does decide to sign for the money, he might not look like the Clippers version of Trez, which would mean that it seemed like Lou Will made him look good. Like we just got to full circle bring it back to the initial discussion.
like I said, that's something that definitely is the only time will tell.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
one of those
I
situations.
think just like if we are gonna put Trez in this, Draymond category, I still think
I'm not putting him
Yeah,
in
I'm just- but
any category. I'm just saying
if in that situation, I think what both of those guys do know about themselves, for one, neither of those dudes, I'll say this, neither of them, aside from when Draymond got kicked out of the finals for kicking dudes in the nuts, that was the only like major idiot move that he did. But those guys aren't dumb. They know what they need around them to also help them look good. The
Big
same
facts.
way stars like Bron know I need shooters next to me.
Hey, Steph
You
Steph
segued,
went
you don't
to
even
Clay
know
jersey
it.
retirement and said, "Yo, my career ain't the same without this dude."
Like
It's a
the
fact.
same way they know I need X, Y, and Z around me. I think guys like Draymond and Trez know they need X, Y, and Z around them. So I don't think Trez would sign
he segued. He
with
didn't know.
a bad team or with a guy that with a team that doesn't have a pick and roll maestro like himself.
Unless he's just reaching for the bag.
Unless he's just super duper reaching for the bag, and
he
I
might
think
because he ain't made no money.
And
And
like
I-
I said,
yeah.
you always go for your first big one. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if his career got derailed because he reached for the bag instead of reaching for the opportunity to showcase his skill.
Hey, set your family up, bro.
yeah.
Oh yeah, get
Such a
paid.
family.
Hey, do what you
Get
gotta
paid.
do, man. I ain't never mad at somebody getting their bread.
This basketball
So-
stuff is temporary, but it's life.
So, Leak, great segue. We're going straight into another guy who said he knows what he needs around him and he needs some help. Kyrie Irving, you got the quotes for me?
I'm trying to pull it up. My fault.
Kyrie
I got caught
Irving.
up in the conversation.
Kyrie Irving, Brooklyn Nets point guard, after, I don't know which game it was. I can't remember which game it was, but after a game, he explained how he needed some help. The team wasn't necessarily championship ready. And KD, Spence, Karras, he named about a handful, DJ, he named about a handful of guys, but also excluded a lot of guys at the same time. And a lot of people give him a hard time about it. We threw out a poll on our Instagram page. If you want to get in on these polls, follow us on Instagram, Hoops Matter Pod. We threw out a poll to say, was Kyrie correct in saying what he said? And 53% said he was right.
Wow.
Which, wow.
It's correct.
Interesting.
I don't think
Wait, the
I
poll
don't
was-
think he was wrong in what he said.
It was how he said it.
I think he should have never said it.
I'm cool with him
I
saying
think
it.
he was wrong, but whatever.
I think it's just how he said it.
TK, you get in on the first. It's your guy. Go ahead. defend him.
Can I read the quote?
Yeah, read the quote. Read the quote.
So, excuse me. So it was after their loss to Philadelphia. He says, "We knew what we were coming into at the beginning of the season. Guys were going down left and right. Garrett Temple is out. DeAndre Jordan is hurt. Wilson Chandler is coming back. We've got complimentary young guys as well that have done a great job the last 3 years. Collectively, we feel like we have great pieces, but it's a pretty glaring we need one more piece or two more pieces that will complement myself, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Jordan, Garrett Temple, Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert. We'll see how that evolves." That's his guys.
I believe. All right, it's going to be a couple of segments to this. I believe he was right in thinking that they needed another piece because I think they need veteran presence on the bench.
Okay.
I don't think he was right in name dropping the pieces that he likes to have
Okay.
because
Well, not
clearly
the ones like that, the ones he like to get rid of.
Well, no, because he
name dropped the people
one. Yeah,
that
he said,
which is more so saying who you don't.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, but what I'm saying about name drop, he literally mentioned by name
name
the ones that he would like to keep. That's what I'm saying. So by doing that, of course, if you didn't get named, it's like Kyrie doesn't want me here, which I think it plays like a double thing.
Okay.
One, you might take it the way, well, wow, Kyrie doesn't care about Jared Allen. Kyrie doesn't care about blah, 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 blah. Another approach to take it as is they're trade pieces. If you're going to make a move to actually trying to get some valuable pieces, what's the name that you're going to move on Brooklyn? Like, Spencer's one of them, but Spencer's the reason why Kyrie and KD are there. He was the biggest influencer in getting them there. I still think
he's going to be like, yo, dog, I wanted you here, bro, but now that you... I think...
Leak, you have a lot of takes. Yeah. This is not the time for one of them right now. This is not the time for one of them.
That's why I'm just going to just go that much more bananas next time I'm right about something.
This is not... But Spencer is definitely one of the most tradable pieces, but clearly they want him there.
Yeah.
But outside of that, one of the biggest trade pieces they're gonna have is Jared Allen. It's gonna be one of the younger guys or whatever. So I can't guarantee that I'm gonna sit here and say like Kyrie screwed up by saying names, but there's a possibility it's because he left out the other names because they might not be there around when those other pieces that he needs to come. But he should have just never said names. I'm fine with the statement, just without the name dropping.
I'm fine with his sentiment. I'm fine with him feeling that way. I think I have an issue with. The only thing I have an issue with, this could all have been said professionally in Sean Mark's office.
I got an issue that it didn't have to be said.
Like, honest to God, if he really wanted to say, hey, I don't really think this is it, guys. Jared Allen maybe need to get traded. And personally, I don't think that he should feel that way. I think we paid you all this money to do this for us, to be that veteran presence, to be that guy. We got Kevin Durant here. Like, hey, how about you just play basketball and not shoot 6 for 15 versus Milwaukee? Like, how about that? That's the lane I'm in on. But if he does feel this way, say it in their office, bro. Not in front of the press.
Even the Philly game.
That's where I'm at.
6 of 21.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of with League on this one. If I was Spencer Dinwiddie and he came back in the locker room and said, I'd be like, hey, dude, you ain't been here in a month and a half.
And I've been holding it down.
Yo, and granted, he mentioned Spencer in his quote, but if I was Spencer, who's been, quote unquote, the leader of this team for the last 2 years, I'd be looking at him like, hey, dude, you ain't been here in a month and a half. You just went 6 of 21, and you got the nerve to call out everybody else? Hold up. You the superstar? Be the superstar.
If you were Spencer, you wouldn't say that.
He's thinking it.
You can think it all you want. You wouldn't say it.
It's only up until so much long. Like, I could really see that being a situation where it's like, you have this one friend, y'all have been friends for a while, but then like, as soon as you live with this person, things get different.
Facts.
What are you trying to say, Lee?
Oh, not you.
What are you trying to say, Lee?
We re-signed, so that's not us. But I'm saying I think from that instance, it could be something like that. Because Spencer was just playing the best basketball we have seen him play since he's been in this league.
All-star level. Yeah.
And then, like I said, now like Kyrie is that type of guy when he steps on the floor, forget all of y'all, I'm getting my shot.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I can't even like. I agree.
No, he is getting his shot.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with that statement.
I'm gonna get my shot.
But it's like for Kyrie to even say this right now. What's the point? You don't have KD. You knew what the situation was when KD got hurt.
That was my last statement for my segments was this should have never been said because the piece that you probably need the most is playing.
Like if KD was on this team, would he be saying this?
No.
Because this team actually, if KD was fully healthy right now.
They're competing in the East.
They're competing. Like this team doesn't really have any holes if KD is here.
I literally said they're my favorites to come out the East.
Torrin Prince is coming off your bench. Solid guy coming off your bench. 6 man. DeAndre
Joe
Jordan
Harris
is a great. Like this is actually a really good team if KD's playing. The problem is KD's not here. So you have a flawed roster because you don't have a 7-foot guy who can pull up from 30.
The only thing that Kyrie is not understanding is the only thing this team is missing is the best player in the world. But they just so happen to have him, if he's healthy, on that team. This is something I said 10, 15 pods ago, did I not?
True. I mean,
I said this team was 1 KD away from a chip.
Somebody tell Kyrie that.
And
I don't got his number.
Like, there's no reason for him to say this,
Yeah,
especially after a month and a half of not playing basketball.
I have no problem if he felt that way. Just if he's allowed to feel that way in a tough loss. He's allowed to feel that way. Like something's glaring, something's wrong.
And he's
allowed.
He's tripping though for not mentioning Jared in that because he's gonna
Jared
be
is
solid.
hooping.
Like
Here's
don't say
the
we
thing.
don't need. Don't not
Because
mention
when-
Jared, but say we need to keep DeAndre.
Ho, ho, ho.
DeAndre is way past his prime.
Whoa.
Way
But
past.
remember when Jared Allen, when they got DeAndre Jordan, what did I say? Jared Allen is not going to be there much longer. That is KD
That's
and
gonna
Kyrie.
be so bad.
They
They're gonna be
wanted
so
DeAndre
bad.
for whatever reason. That's their boy.
That's their boy. But
You
they
did say that, and I
And
said
Jared
so
Allen is
bad.
out.
I mean,
was
that's why they
Jared
took a pay
Allen
cut to get him.
I was like, DeAndre should have started Jared as a starter. Like,
They don't need DeAndre and Jared Allen are the same players at this point in their career. The problem is one is much cheaper and one is much younger. Why did you need another guy and
And
pay
the
him
only
$40
problem,
million?
one is actually better.
You could argue.
I'm gonna argue it.
I mean, yeah. Like I said, it's an argument to be made who's better in that scenario. Some people say DeAndre, some people say Jared. Whatever. I'm not even going to get in that argument. My thing was simply, Jared is 10 years younger, so much cheaper. They could have used that money on so many other players instead of DeAndre Jordan. But they had to go
But
get
clearly
their boy.
you have to
It was
realize-
it was a LeBron James move. and
You
it
have
was
to
dumb.
realize this is a team where they just want to be around their boys.
All right.
This is literally what that was.
honestly, this could go sour, man. This could go sour, and people are already starting to equate this to what happened in Boston. I hate the fact that is.
You mean
but
what? As far you're
you
talking
talking
about Kyrie.
Kyrie
Kyrie's
getting on everybody's
comment,
nerves.
like,
I hate that 08 mob so much. I thought you were referring to them somehow.
No. My bad. Yeah, we're gonna leave them alone today. But they're starting to equate it to Kyrie's stint in Boston as well. In terms of him just getting back on this press run in a sense of just saying whatever he feels like.
I can say the difference is in Boston, it wasn't mainly Kyrie's fault. This one, Kyrie, bro, like actually just play. Like just play. Just prove me right. Just play,
Like I said, yeah,
please.
all he has to do is just play this year out.
That's all he has to
Get
do.
25 points a game. Get the Nets to the first round of the playoffs.
I don't even think like. So even if they get there and lose though, like if they can't make it to the second round without him, like Kyrie has to drop in these point guard rankings. Of course, talent wise, no, but when it comes down to a point guard ranking wise, wherever we had him at, he needs to drop a little bit more. Because if he could,
He had him at 3.
We had him at 3.
I will look it up.
We had him at 3.
I would say, yeah.
We had him at
Everyone
3. Who
had
you gonna put over him?
Everyone had
Russ?
at 3.
he got him.
Who are you gonna put over him?
I
Lee?
gotta see. Let's see the list first, Tamam.
You
Before
can
start
look at the
yelling. Before
list.
start
You can look
yelling.
at the list, and I'm gonna tell you, you're not
Let's
gonna
get
move
revised
him.
big time because I don't even think Luka's in my top 5.
He's not a point. We didn't have him at our
In
point.
mine.
We didn't have him at a point.
No,
we had
Oh,
Luka
we had him
at
at
2.
2.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In terms of point guards, you're not gonna tell me
Point
anybody
guards.
other than Steph, Dame.
Shoot.
And it better
Y'all
go
two the only
Kyrie.
two that had Kyrie at 3. We had him at 5.
I had him at 5.
Well, you had Russ at 3.
No, I didn't. Oh, I did have Russ at 3.
All right.
No,
All
Greg had
right.
Ben Simmons at 3.
So who are the who?
We had
You
him
see
at-
what
we
I
had-
mean?
We had him at. We had him
Do you
at 4.
see what
We
I
had him at
mean?
4.
What's my list of point guards?
You
I
had
expect him to
Steph,
be able to
Dame,
shoot 18
Kyrie,
feet out.
Russ, Kimba, Ben, Conley, D'Lo, Murray.
Hey, what we gonna do if Boston is a sleeper like we think they are? Because Kimba
Boston's
just
a better team than
No,
than that's right
but
now.
Kimba's a better leader, bro. And Kimba just
all said
had
that.
Kimba just had what 40 something on Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Like nah, bro. Like for a long time.
You talking about the last game they played?
when they lost in Milwaukee, but Kimba just had 40.
Talking about like a
something.
week ago? I watched that game. I turned it off.
They but
They were down by like 20. This was like 3 days ago,
I'll
Lee.
get it.
Hold on.
This was
I'm about
3
to
days
look at it.
ago. I switched to the Pelicans versus the Jazz.
Yeah, you mean the one they lost by 5, right? Because you turned away early, right?
I went to
right?
the better
Say
game.
you're sorry, bro. I'm snapping on y'all from now on.
Why am I saying I'm sorry?
Not a
Okay,
blowout.
okay.
Watch the whole game.
I'm not watching that
Watch
game.
the
I
whole
turned to the better game.
And he had 40.
I turned to the better game. We're gonna talk about snapping. Brandon Ingram just went for 49. You gonna say you're sorry? Are you gonna say you're sorry right on the pod after the one? And you
didn't
just
have to
blew
say-
up
I didn't have
on
to say-
Kuzma?
I didn't have to
Come
say-
on, dog. We gonna say we're sorry? We gonna say we're sorry? What are you
I'm
talking
sorry,
about?
Greg.
I turned from the bad game. They were down
How you
25.
doing, Greg?
They were down by
They
25.
cut it to 5 though.
And they still lost. I turned to the
you
game
doing,
yeah, like
Greg?
with
B.I.
the
did to the
better.
Clippers too, right?
But he didn't. I didn't turn to that game. I turned to the Clippers. I mean, I turned to the. I did, but am I talking about the Pels and the Jazz or the Clippers and the Jazz? I mean, Clippers and the Pelicans.
Clippers Pelicans.
Okay, and then I talked about the Pelicans and the Jazz right now. That's the game I just said I turned from the Bucks
yeah.
and the Celtics too.
Yeah.
And did the Pelicans not win that game? And did B.I. not go for 49?
That is true.
Okay. So if you're not saying that you're sorry, Lee, don't ever ask for an apology right now.
Kimba went for 40.
Don't ever ask for an apology. B.I. just went for 49. For 49. For 49. Well, you just told me to apologize about Kemba because he's going for 40 something.
No, I told
you just screamed on this pod about Kuzma.
You made it seem as if the Celtics had blown out that game. They didn't.
I said they was losing by 25 and I switched the game. We can run the pod back after Greg edits it.
Kimba's a better leader, so he could very well take that spot. He could very well take Kyrie's number 3.
I don't think he's gonna take that spot.
Bro, if Kyrie loses in the same spot that a young D'Lo took them to last year, if they are literally made no north movement, if they have made no progress,
I don't agree.
And that can be your opinion, but bro, if they swap, basically the same team from last year,
essentially,
pretty much.
And what did the Celtics lose in the second round last year?
Yeah.
So if Kemba goes in the second round this year, what are we saying? He did exactly what Kyrie did? Whoa. If he does exactly what Kyrie did and lose to the second round against maybe the Bucks or something like that, are we going to sit here and say Kemba's better than Kyrie because he did exactly what he did?
Depends, because Kyrie went out like a punk against the
Bucks. He did. He went cold. He went cold. How is it different?
How it goes out.
How is it different? It all depends.
I see your point.
But you see exactly if you lose in the same spot, I'm not going to sit here and just give up your spot because somebody just took your same team that got a year better.
If the Celtics go 7 with the Bucks and Kemba averages 30,
no, then I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say, well, maybe we need to reevaluate Kemba and his point guard. But do I really believe that Kemba's gonna go 7 with the Bucks? Nah, bro, I don't. I really don't.
This is what I say,
and that's what I'm stamping it on.
Between those two scenarios, this is what is different, right? You're already saying from jump that Kemba is not Kyrie.
No. You literally just marked across everything I said.
I'm not marking.
I just said I don't believe the Celtics are gonna go 7 with the Bucks, and that if he ends up losing in the second round, just like Kyrie, you can't sit here and look me in my face and tell me like, nope, Kemba's automatically better.
It's not even so much. This is why I can't even hold the Boston situation in this equation because people already say from jump that Kyrie is above Kemba. Mm-hmm. So therefore, if we're quote unquote off that consensus, by you in Boston switching out one point guard for what you were saying is somewhat a lesser point guard, I don't know, bro. Y'all be making faces before I can.
No. I don't know what they were looking at. I don't know what they were looking at.
No, bro. I'm saying.
I don't know what happened over here.
You made 103 on this pod.
It's not 103. I was listening.
What I'm saying. I was not making a face at you. I was making a face at the fact that Greg had DeMar DeRozan as his second shooting guard in the NBA this year. That's what I was making a face at.
You put that on?
You had DeMar DeRozan as his second shooting guard.
We already talked about that.
No, we didn't.
We did. After
we didn't.
Because I made
so we name a whole pod after Kelly Oubre, who has proven me right. Hey, but you had DeMar DeRozan number 2. All right, deflect.
My fault, though. I wasn't making a face at you, though.
Well, it's what people say. Is that, of course, Kyrie is above Kemba.
Yeah.
So, in a sense...
This is something we've all said.
If for Boston's situation, by them replacing their previous point guard with a lesser, it should not be expected, I guess just off of that, should it be expected that they do better if you're basically keeping the same team?
I can say this. They didn't keep the same team, and
it's
100% the chemistry changed. Yeah.
Okay.
And the chemistry changed as well. We have this talk all the time when I say we cannot give the majority blame to Kyrie, but we just had this talk on Friday, League. I called you on my way home from work. And I said that team, it wasn't just Kyrie and they were just blaming toxicity on them. In my opinion, it was literally an equal split from a whole lot of parties. From Kyrie, yes, to Jason Tatum and his camp, to Terry Rozier, who I've been on this pod talking about. It's been a lot of people who were engaged in the reason why the Boston Celtics were failing. So I'm not just going to sit here and say swap Kyrie out for Kemba and like you can see who's better. No, that was a toxic situation from both camps.
What team would you say is better?
Right now?
Like
Boston.
Yeah,
easily.
What I'm
saying last year's Boston or this year's Boston. Of course we know what record is better. But what teams?
If you're talking about talent-wise or you're talking about chemistry, like that's what I'm trying to say. Like there was a lot of teams that were better than that Pistons team that won the chip, but like they didn't flow as well.
Here's where I'm on your side, Leak. You got it. You earned it. Here's why I would say all of that could have been fixed last year if Kyrie was a grown-up.
It's not just him. He's 26. It's not just him, bro. It's not just him.
He's the best player on the team. And as the best player on the team, if it's your mob, and granted, you didn't ask for this mob. But you are a part of this mob now. You are trying to do something special. You did say in front of all of TD Garden that you was going to get him a ring and stay. You made those statements as Kyrie.
And nobody had told
you to say that. Nobody asked you to go out there and spill your heart out and lie. Like, nobody asked you to do that. Like, he did that. You got to be the grown up in this situation. You got to go clear up all these rumors, all these issues, all this division in the team, and be a leader.
To some degree.
You fixed that. Terry Rozier, you fixed that relationship. Jason Tatum, you fixed that relationship as the leader. Yes, bro. That's what I would say.
I'm not gonna sit here and say because I'm the best player on the mob that I have to fix all the toxicity within it. That shouldn't just go hands down on my shoulders.
What do we ask of LeBron? What do we ask of Kobe? What do we ask of Jordan?
You're talking about
what do we ask
what you just named with two of the most toxic leaders.
They would just. He is.
That's the question.
Talks like Kobe.
And this is what we talked about on Friday, right, Leak? Because we had this discussion that we're bringing into the pot. I said Kyrie acts the same as Kobe and all of these guys, and he's not as talented, and that's the issue.
No, he don't.
He don't act like him. That's the problem.
He thinks he does. He's just not as talented, bro. He's just not as talented.
You know what the difference between Kobe and Kyrie?
Kobe's better.
Kobe's having all those conversations.
Obviously. Kobe will have that conversation face to face with you, like, yo, you need to step your game up, otherwise we got issue. Kyrie's gonna go behind your back to the media. He's gonna say stuff.
Kobe never had a moment. I'll say this: the weakest moment I think in Kyrie's like NBA history. The weakest thing is, I'm cool if you call Bron and be like, yo, man, my fault. I'm sorry. Don't let that get public. Don't let that get public, especially after a bad L they had to Orlando.
Facts.
That was so bad.
Didn't Kobe and Shaq stuff go public?
No, not until way after. They had interviews about that, but it was not in the dead center of them dark years. You didn't hear nothing about Kobe talking to Shaq in them dark years.
Talking to Shaq,
like
or
Kobe
about?
being like, bro, I'm sorry,
they
my
still
bad. They still hated each other.
I thought you
then.
were talking about them hating each other, like when Kyrie came out and he was basically like,
while they were playing together.
Yeah, I thought you were referring to that, not them mending it.
But once again, even going back to that, like even when stuff about them came out, like it was never like Kobe and Shaq knew where they stood with each other. It was never like Kobe was, I'm gonna act like this around you, and then when the media come around, I'm act a different way. Like no, Kobe. That like one of my most favorite Kobe stories is like when people in the Lakers locker room started talking about Kobe, and they were like, "Oh, he's a ball hog. He's this." Like Kobe came in with the newspaper, went to everybody in the locker room. Who said it? Who won it right now? Like he's ready to go work face to face. Like he's man about it. Like and that was when Kobe was one of the youngest dudes on the team.
Kobe crazy.
Like Kobe's that dude. Like he's not backing down from nobody in any moment. Kyrie doesn't give me that. Kyrie's like, well, I kind of want everybody to like me. But when the media come around, I'm gonna say stuff.
Bro, it's
just like he's a weird dude.
I was just about to say he's weird. Bro. KD's weird like that too.
And that's why I said it's not gonna work.
I said it was PEMDAS and it's gonna cancel out.
You can't have two emotional dudes who do this all season.
Greg, all I'm gonna say, and this is the last time I'm gonna speak about Kyrie on this segment right here. What's the negative times a negative?
That don't
no, you gotta say it into the mic.
That works in math.
You gotta say it into the mic, Greg. Say it into the mic. What's the negative times a negative?
That works in algebra, not in basketball.
Wait till our 20.
You're analytics, man.
Wait,
that's not the same, Tamon.
We're about to have, so we're gonna have the 2020 playoffs this year. So KD will be
Well,
back
all
for
I want to know, like, if the Nets
playoffs.
somehow pull away this championship next year, bro,
Oh,
I'm going more bananas than he is going with it if the Clippers win.
You can.
I'm going like crazy, bro.
And I will sit here and I will shut
You're
up
gonna
and I will
have
let
to.
you have
You're
it.
gonna have to.
I'll
It's
do
gonna
the
be
same
an
thing
hour
if
and
the
a
Clippers
half.
win. I'm
I
gonna sit
mean,
there and be
if
like,
KD comes back healthy and they win this shit, bro, it's literally gonna be an hour and a half. I don't want nobody to talk.
Anything to me about Kyrie, though.
Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It doesn't prove anything to me about Kyrie. It tells me KD
Is that
stepped
man?
his game up.
KD's that man.
And he led a team.
Kyrie will be the best Robin we've ever seen.
Exactly.
I've accepted
It proves
that now.
absolutely
Hey,
nothing.
I've accepted
That's
that.
why this year is so important for Kyrie. That's why these comments are so detrimental to his legacy.
then can we bring it-
because he's killing himself.
I just want to bring it back to
He's shooting himself
I want to
in the
bring it back
foot.
to the comparison that I just set up.
Nope.
I'm not even gonna listen to him right now because, like I said, he's
Dang.
got his blinders on. They literally are the same Brooklyn team.
He loves Kyrie like he
and
loves
if you're supposed to be replacing
Kyrie been tripping.
D-Lo with a
I believe
quote-unquote
him.
better dude, shouldn't they go further? They lost to Philly, I believe, in 5 or 6 last year.
5.
So if they can't even bare minimum go 6 with what is supposed to be an upgrade, then at that point in time, dude, you're no longer the upgrade we thought you were. So that's why in my mind I'm saying we gotta switch you around in these rankings. And in all honesty, it's probably gonna be for somebody like Kemba, because even I'm an eye test guy. From a skill level standpoint, yes, Kyrie is taller, but there's nobody in the league that can really stop Kemba from getting to his spots.
I'm not gonna sit here and do that. Like this is me. Like I can admit, with a lot of my Kyrie stuff, I'm super duper biased. I'm an honest guy. You've known me.
Yeah.
We all sat here on this pod and we said Kyrie is the most talented point guard in the league at the beginning of the season.
One of the most skilled ever.
One of the most skilled ever. I'm not gonna sit here and say if you do the eye test that Kemba matches up with that. Because what you're now
it's
saying,
not as far as what you're saying.
No, what you're saying,
what
you're saying is Kemba is now one of the most skilled and talented point guards we've seen.
He is one of the most skilled dudes in the
league.
Ever.
So like,
that's a comparison you just made. I don't know if you really understand it, but that's what you just did.
I would look at it like this. Kyrie, like I said, we've all acknowledged he's probably maybe the greatest ball handler, maybe one of the greatest shot creators in NBA history.
Hasn't shown his leadership
You had to
ability,
put him on a grade. He's an A+ in terms of skill.
Yeah.
To me, Kemba is like somewhere between an A- and a B+.
Right.
Like
But there's a definitive level between the two.
There is.
But you want to know what brings Kyrie so far down is when your mentality to winning is as low as it can be. If it's that low,
and that's why we put him where we put him at the beginning of the year. That was the only reason.
Hey.
If Kyrie had the mentality of a Steph, if Kyrie had the mentality
he would
of
be
a
the best
James,
guard in the league.
he's the best
If he had
guard
the
in
Steph
game
mentality,
one,
he'd be the best.
We're not even talking
The
anymore.
reason
bro.
Boston looks so much better this year isn't because Kemba is more skilled or more
He's
talented.
stable.
Stable, yes. It's also the fact that he's just willing to play in the
I just said the chemistry's better. I literally have been saying that this entire time.
But
So
part
that's
of it,
your package.
Part of it, because still, I'll say this: the reason why Kemba was able to make it still mesh, because the same way Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown feel about themselves now is the same way they felt last year. If anything, they should feel better about themselves this year because Jaylen just got a check. So if there was ever a reason for him to be more cocky, more arrogant, it would be now. Jason Tatum is in a contract year, so if there was a reason for him to be ever like more cocky and arrogant, it would be now. So what
That's
I'm
a good
saying
point.
what I'm saying is they have bare minimum the same egos as last year. Bare minimum the same egos as last year. If Kemba is able to, Kemba is able, you see what happens when y'all just actually just let me finish.
League, we do be listening to you. We let you go for 20 minutes last week. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro. No. We let you go for 20 minutes.
Finish it.
We let you go. You did this last week.
I'm agreeing with
I'm not gonna
you.
speak till it's silence.
Then you don't gotta speak, and I can keep going.
Nah, bro.
That's not gonna happen. Like, bro, we be letting you go. We be letting you go.
I'm agreeing with you.
We be letting you go.
That's what I'm just saying. I can actually get a thought out.
We let you get your thoughts out.
Go ahead.
Like I was saying, they have the same ego. So if Kemba can come in here, I'm saying Jason Tatum.
looking at the play.
God.
You see what I mean? You just be yelling.
Like,
Just
I'm
go.
literally
Just
watching
go.
the game. Malcolm Brogdon just caught an alley-oop under the basket and finished it on the reverse.
All I'm saying is if
crazy.
Kemba was able to come in with these egos and still be able to get his along with other guys being able to do what it is they can do, why can't Kyrie do that? Because if Kyrie was able to mesh personalities, then they would have been better last year. Because part of being that leader, Kyrie wanted people to sacrifice, but he wanted everybody to sacrifice but himself. And as a leader, that is not realistic. Because there was multiple games where I was watching them specifically, and I would watch Kyrie at certain point in time just straight up abandon the offense, and whatever Brad was saying is like, you know what, I'm going to shoot this shot.
He did it the whole Buck series.
Kemba will at least work within the flow of the offense to get his.
I can say the difference is, because I do believe the points that you just made.
Yeah.
100%. I think the difference is Kemba is more emotionally mature and mentally mature than Kyrie Irving. Mind you, he is like 3 years older.
Facts.
And he has been in a horrible basketball situation his
so
whole
happy.
career. His whole career, he'll do whatever to make this work. Kyrie has probably one of the best rings in NBA history with one of the best moments in finals history. To him, he's chasing immortality. Kemba,
You don't get that with second round L's.
you get that with 2016 shots. That's what I'm saying. He reached the promised land already. Like, at this point, he's just trying to get back to a place where he already was.
Do you not think they could have touched the finals last year? Do you think that?
The Celtics?
Do you not think that roster was like
No, like the Celtics roster?
last year? Yeah. You don't think they?
Yeah, they were talented enough to.
Okay, then. So don't you think if you're trying to chase immortality?
But I'm not surprised they lost. That's what I'm saying.
But in the manner they did, was that really a gentleman's sweep team? Was that a? Of course,
No, I thought it was gonna go 6.
And it
I
could.
had them going all the way.
The Celtics? No, I wasn't that high on them last year.
At the beginning of the year?
I was high.
We all-
I was
They
high.
were
I was
everybody's preseason favorite.
that first year Kyrie got there, I had them going all the way. But then that second year, like as soon as the year started, I realized like there's a lot of issues between players and coaches, organization, Kyrie, Terry Rozier, Jason Tatum and his camp, his trainer, everybody saying that he should be the number one option on that team. Gordon Hayward coming back from the injury, finally getting put into the rotation. There was a lot of stuff to deal with that I didn't think the Celtics were going to be able to break all of that.
Talent-wise, I thought it was all there, man.
Talent-wise, but we
thought it
always
was
talk
all
about
there.
talent with a whole lot of teams.
Talent-wise, it was.
Sometimes it just doesn't
And-
match up like that.
And like I said, and we can get off it on this. And Leak, I agree with you wholeheartedly, bro. Everything you said, spot on. You talk that talk.
About 93%.
I agree. The difference is between Kyrie and what makes him a 2 now, what makes him a Scottie Pippen now, what makes him that from here on out is the fact that the real ones, the Kobes, the Jordans, even to an extent the LeBrons, handle it.
You can lead.
They
I can say
handle
this.
it.
Whenever I
And
talk
they
about
get them there.
whenever I talk about anything, I always talk about chips, right? Brian, how many small guards have won a chip being the number one option?
Isaiah Thomas and
Steph Curry. That's it.
So that means
The
Kyrie
odds are
Irving-
against him. And what I'm trying to say is it's gonna be a tougher route for Kyrie Irving regardless, and he's making it tougher on himself, albeit. I'm sitting here saying I've said it this whole time. Y'all just don't listen to the points I'm trying to make about how I think that Kyrie isn't just done, over with, or whatever. When the team comes back, when KD comes back fully healthy, I never said Kyrie's gonna backpack a team toward a finals.
All I'm so therefore you
You're saying he'll get a ring when he becomes Robin.
again, yes.
That's what you're saying. You're saying when
That's-
KD comes
yeah,
back,
But
That's
that's why I
KD
mentioned
ain't
you.
no
That's why I
Robin.
mentioned you. How many small guards have gotten a ring while being the alpha?
2. I just said it.
It happens that way sometimes. A lot of the times. Kyrie got his first one.
Why did Kyrie want
being
to
one
leave?
B?
Why did Kyrie ask to leave Cleveland though?
And this
What
is
was
why
the-
I'm
what was the thing
saying
they were
mentally and
saying?
emotionally he wasn't mature, and this is part of the reason why I don't think I definitely wouldn't have personally apologized to, or at least let the apology get out
That's his
about
problem.
LeBron.
He could have made that joint private if he wanted to.
Hey, look, and like I said, this whole time, him and KD got some similar issues. And maybe it all works out. Except for the fact that KD's a 7-foot guard.
All I'm saying is
So it doesn't really go to his detriment.
all I'm saying is you walk around, you talk like an alpha, you walk like an alpha, and you end up being a Robin. It don't look good.
Yeah.
It don't look good.
Because
if you're gonna be an alpha all the way out. Don't be walking around here talking like you Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry. You got the mentality of Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry, but you not that. Like that's my issue with it. Like that's it.
So going back to what you were saying real quick, just to wrap this up. Kyrie views himself, yes, as an alpha. And the thing about it is, I think we would have a lot of respect for him if he took on that personality and that role in the way Allen Iverson kind of did. Like, Allen Iverson was just like, yo, I'm going to go out here every night, 35 points. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. If my team loses, whatever, I still did my job. Boom. I backpacked and did the best I could.
Right.
That was Allen Iverson for pretty much 10, 12 years of his career.
Loved him for it.
And we love
Loved him for it.
And truth be told,
Legend.
he's become immortality because of that. Never won a title.
Never want to tell him. That's
But
why
he's immortal
on that
because of
first
that.
part we did, and y'all had forced me to call him a loser, I was hurt.
But at the end of the day, now he is a loser. Going by your definition of loser, I don't consider Allen Iverson a loser per se,
Yeah,
but
he's
that's your definition of a loser.
You ain't win no chips.
So that's your definition of loser.
Yeah.
Kyrie, truth be told, after he won in Cleveland, if he just took the Allen Iverson route and went somewhere and averaged 30 for the next 10 years, he'd be immortal. But instead, he's done this thing where he's hopped to Boston, caused problems. Now he's in Brooklyn, causing problems. It's just like, now it's like, dude, like, what are you?
And I don't think that this is gonna stop. I really feel as if when KD comes back,
See, and this is where we don't see the eye. I think it is.
what makes you think all of a sudden when KD comes back, Kyrie is now
was
gonna be
also
cool with
emotional.
taking less shots?
I mean,
They
I
could be
already-
buddies, but like for whatever reason, like
Already said it like earlier in the pods. Like we've discussed this Kyrie topic, and it's gone this exact same way each and every time. This is why I'm not like super angry or super yelling or anything like that. Like I understand what I was gonna get from you guys, but I said at the beginning of the year when they come back and they have all their pieces, KD, Kyrie mainly, is the fact that they both have invested mutual interest in making this work.
I hope you're right.
Me too.
Let's go on. Bradley Beal. It's sad.
It's not sad. You signed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Somebody gets it. Jeez Louise. I'm so sick. Like, I'm sorry. I know y'all like Kevin Love too. I ain't got no sympathy for Love. I got no sympathy for Beal. You signed the contract. You deal with the consequences.
So after a tough loss,
I ain't mad. I would have signed too. First big one.
After a tough loss to Chicago Bulls, post game, he speaks with the reporters, and he takes the loss very hard, saying, all losses hurt. I don't like losing. I'm sorry, especially winnable games. And my bad, got a phone call. And he said that he hopes the loss would kind of like transcend into something going forward. Then there's news comes out that he's very angry with the organization in terms of how the team's been performing and everything around him. I agree with you. He did sign the check. He did sign the contract, but I hate seeing good talent be wasted.
You know what I can say about that? It was funny. Just a real quick note. You said he hated losing, especially winnable games, right?
Yeah.
You know what's hilarious about that? The Bulls probably circled that on their schedule and said this is a winnable game.
That's true.
Very true.
Like, the Wizards are bad. They're a horrible team, to say the least. Brad Beal should have forced his way out if he was really about winning. I'm not mad that he got signed. Like, take your first big one.
Yeah.
Like, I can't emphasize that enough for any player. Always take your first big one. When you're playing a sport where you don't know, you really realistically don't know how long your body's going to last. Like, at any moment,
dealt with injuries.
At any moment, like, Derrick Rose is the youngest MVP ever. And then his knees popped like 3-4 times in a row.
Still got 150 mil.
But you take your first big one every single last time because you don't know if you're going to get it. Isaiah Thomas was averaging 30. And then what was it, his hip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was going from vet men's to vet men's. Like,
so, I'm not trying to cut you off. And I do agree with your statement. All basketball players, when you get that chance to get your max, you take your max.
but when you sign it,
don't complain. But can we please stop using Isaiah Thomas as the example?
Nah, he's the poster child for why guys.
Yeah, I'm about to say nah, bro.
He's the poster child of why. Don't get me wrong. Yes, he lost a lot of money. Let's also keep in mind the bro was a 5'9" guard.
Bro,
if he was 6'6", he still would have got the bag.
got a bigger bag, yeah.
Yeah, but
He's a 5'9" guard. That's why he didn't get the bag.
But if he was fully healthy, he would have got the
If he was
bag.
fully
That's
healthy,
the
he would've
whole
got it.
point.
I agree with that.
But that's the whole point.
If he was 6'6" with the exact same injury, he would have still got the
it's
bag.
more. But it's more than just he got hurt. He knew he was hurt. He could have pulled a Chris Paul and been like, I'm not gonna play. So that way, when it's time to talk bags,
Because he got the bag.
so when it's time to talk bags, y'all
but you know
can't
what's
say
funny?
it.
Chris Paul still got the bag.
But he
Like,
sacrificed.
he sat out.
I think if Chris
winning.
Paul had played, he still would have got the bag. Houston already made him the promise. Houston could not, like, the thing that's quiet, kept secret about that, Houston couldn't go back on that promise. He is the president of the association. If they go back on that promise, Houston won't get a free agent for the next 10 years. They could not back out of that commitment. And Houston kind of knew. They didn't want to give him the contract. But they knew they had no choice in the scenario. He was getting his bag either way.
Daryl Morey not scared of China. He shouldn't be scared of Chris Paul.
Hey, China is over across the water.
Whoa.
Chris Paul right here, bro.
Chris Paul is right here.
I'm more
let's
scared
just
of
not-
China
hey,
than Chris Paul.
Hey, let's just not
Not
dive
Daryl
too
Morey.
deep in that China bag. We're
Yeah.
still trying to figure out this podcast bag.
Yeah.
I would avoid the word China at all costs right now, considering what Daryl Morey did.
But even aside from that, it's IT is not even just like, oh, you play hurt, you might not get your bag. It's more so like, do what's right for yourself, because he could have sat out during that hip injury. And I think you're forgetting this part. He dropped 53 after putting his sister in the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not knocking him for that. I'm not forgetting that.
It's not knocking, but it's like, if there was ever a time to be like, you know what, I can't go into work today, like my mind isn't right. That would be the day. And you know what he did for Danny Ainge? With tears in his eyes, he went out there and balled. So at least, like, dang, look out for him, do something. But that's what Danny Ainge did to him right after playing through an injury for you.
I don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be.
You know they
I'm
did
not
him
trying
wrong.
to-
And that's
I'm
why
not trying to
AD was like,
downplay-
don't ever put me and Boston in the same sentence.
I'm not trying to downplay it at all. Like, Isaiah played great. He played through the injury. I commend him for all of that, and I applaud him for it, in all honesty. On the same token, if I was Danny Ainge, no, I'm not looking out for a 5'9" guard who already doesn't play defense.
And now
once again, if he was 6'6", if he was Bradley
but
Beal,
that is one
yeah,
reason-
I'm
that
still
is-
giving you your
now
money.
that is why though Danny will have to live with in the future missing out on certain free agents because everybody watched that. The same way you're saying Daryl Morey is embedded to Chris Paul
He just got
because
Kemba
of
Walker, so it couldn't have been that big a deal.
Yeah, but I'm saying we'll just have to see who else. But
That
he also
wasn't-
missed out on AD. AD literally
He
just
could have
said,
traded for AD anytime he wanted to, and I think he could have kept AD if he really wanted to.
Nah, AD said like,
He can
yo,
say
even
it.
if you trade for me, I'm not resigning. He
He
said
can say
that.
it all. A lot of people say that once you're in Boston playing with Bradley. There's like honestly, you could have persuaded AD to stay if you really went for it.
I don't know.
Now once again,
If-
maybe
if-
he
It's
could-
a risk, though.
That's
It's a
that's
risk, but I think he could have convinced them too.
I don't think not in Boston. I think the type of guy AD is. I don't know if that.
Like I
city
said, a
is
lot of
like
people
that
say
for him.
things.
So, I guess getting back to
Sorry.
it. No, y'all good. I mean, guess getting back to it. Is this Bradley Beal's situation or something he just have to live with?
He's gonna
Yeah.
get traded.
Yeah.
He's gonna get traded this
Yeah, of course.
summer, though.
Because
I don't think he can get traded this season.
He can't get traded during the season. Now,
season, yeah,
come
this summer.
July 1, it's up for grabs.
But it's because he's such of a movable piece. Like, there's a lot of teams in the NBA that would love to have a Bradley Beal. And the Wizards, clearly, they need to hit a reset button and just rebuild.
And I guess that's the sad part about it. I just saw. I mean, not a sad part. I guess sad part for Washington because John Wall has been working out again. He's doing 5v5s in the practice gym. So
I don't even think that's sad for Washington. I don't believe they're a great organization.
Yeah, we're not.
Now it's we.
Oh, I told y'all I
weird.
have dual citizenship right now. Like, I definitely do.
I mean, the
Wow.
fact that you looking at John Wall possibly getting back on the court and now you're gonna ship off.
He's not gonna be the same either, Brad.
You ship them both.
We're gonna be sick.
Give it
Like,
a-
y'all are
Nobody's
gonna
taking-
y'all are gonna be
nobody's
sick when
taking
it's,
John Wall's coming.
and that's
when
the
it's come
sad
back,
part.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
He's in
you
the
try to
same
ship them
category
both.
as Chris Paul right now.
Yeah. So like
Nah,
that.
I don't even think that. I think Chris Paul is wanted, but not affordable. I don't think John Wall is
John Wall's
wanted.
the same.
or affordable.
I mean, the reason John Wall's not one now is because he's not playing. If he comes back and he averages 17 points and 7 assists, I mean, he'll show he can still play. I don't think he'll ever be the all-star he was.
Yeah, no.
But he can still I think he can still be a starter-level point guard. But
He can, but
I want
at
Not
that
at 38
price-
million.
Yeah, I
At
was
the,
saying
at the price that he's
you want my
about to
$38 million
so
starting
at
point
that point,
guard.
it's not that
30.
he's not wanted. He's not affordable.
And
Like,
I
you're
think
not
because you're not affordable, you're not
not
wanted.
so then Chris Paul's not wanted.
No, Chris Paul is still like there's a slight difference. Like
I feel like there's certain. Okay. Put it this way.
I hear what you're saying, but like
Are there not certain shoes out there that you're like, dang, like I really wish I
I'm
had
not
those.
a shoe guy.
Okay, but
I get it. Come on.
Go ahead. Y'all
there's
got
a
it.
pair of shoes out there. You're like, dang, I wish I could like want those, but like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're too much. But I'm sure there's some ugly pair of designer shoes out there that are just as
You're like,
much, and
you
you're
know-
like, dude, I wouldn't even want those.
I hear you.
Facts.
I hear you.
Facts.
I don't want
John
John
Wall.
Wall.
Is an ugly Balenciaga.
Wow.
I called him chubby earlier in the year. That was better.
Wow.
John Wall's an ugly Balenciaga.
I mean, like I said, I'm gonna wait and see how he looks when he comes back and go from there.
A lot of people like Balenciagas though.
Exactly.
Okay, and a lot of people have bad taste in everything.
And a lot of people go broke trying to look rich.
A lot of people think real live.
That's very true though.
Real live. That's a good one.
But Brad, I mean, like I said, now.
So I guess you're right. July 1, it's a waiting game for him. I hate seeing good talent get wasted. I knew he had to take the bag.
But once
I hate
this is
seeing
done, this
good
one
talent be in bad situations.
When this one is done, it's going to put him in a situation I think at the time that he'll get it, potentially like the biggest NBA
Supermax.
contract. Yeah. It's
It-
going to be like the
it puts
super
him in that
duper
Supermax.
max.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking.
But I don't feel bad for him.
I don't even.
Yeah, I know.
At all.
Signed it.
Like
At
all. There's not a sliver of like
One, it's already hard to feel bad enough about somebody who's making $25
Yeah, I ain't
million.
going to feel bad for nobody.
Second on that, you signed the contract.
I agree with half of that. Like you sign a contract, I can still feel bad for somebody who's making all
I'm not
that
feeling
money
bad
just
for
because
nobody in the league.
I love basketball.
I
Like
feel bad for you if you're in an Isaiah Thomas situation
Yeah.
where you're going through
I
something
feel bad
personal.
for IT.
You ain't going
yeah.
through nothing personal. You're just playing. You're on a losing basketball team.
Yeah.
Getting paid millions of dollars.
I don't know, man. I can't 100%
I don't
agree with that, bro.
We've all played basketball.
Oh, it's
And
never
we've-
fun to lose.
And we've all been on teams where you're like, yo, I'm doing everything. And
And
it's
nobody
like,
feels bad for you.
and no one's getting there. Like we're not. No
And that's
proper
why I'm
deal.
gonna
Do you know
sympathize
what the difference is in
and
that scenario,
empathize.
Greg?
You're not getting
Bradley,
the bag.
you're not getting $25 million at the end of the night.
But
you're
you
not walking out of the arena, getting into a BMW, driving to your 5-story home, got a 60-inch plasma. Like, it's not the same, Greg.
But you watch the game.
I feel you, Greg. I feel you. No, don't argue.
I feel you.
There's no argument to make against what they're saying. It's just more of a I can still feel bad.
I feel
for
what
this
you're
human being.
saying. I'm just saying, like, I can't feel bad for you.
Brad, I feel for you, dog. I ain't got nothing else.
I feel bad for you watching. I don't. Feel
I
bad
only
for your
feel
life.
bad
I'm
when you
sorry.
didn't put yourself in that situation.
That too.
Like D Rose was getting the bag. I felt horrible for him.
But that was personal. It was like your body's not holding up. Like
But that's what I'm saying.
That's how I feel
There's
bad for you.
situations like Brad
Like,
Beal. I
for
don't
you
feel
in that.
bad. I don't feel
in that
bad
scenario.
for Brad
Isaiah
Beal.
Thomas playing through personal tragedy, like that, I will feel bad for. I have empathy for that. If you're just losing basketball games, you're just losing a game.
Like Melo, I
and
didn't
making
feel
it
bad
is.
for. Brad
Heck
Beal,
no,
I'm
I
not
ain't
gonna
feel
feel
bad
bad
for Melo.
for.
I
That's
still
what I'm
don't feel
saying.
bad for Melo.
But there's some stars that make a bag that I can still feel bad for.
Okay, I got you.
All right, last topic. We had some other ones, but we've been
We've been going.
gotta go. Pelicans announced expected return of number 1 pick Zion Williamson. He will play on the 22nd versus San Antonio Spurs. A lot of y'all said he should not return, but it doesn't matter now. I was right. You were wrong.
I don't actually remember
Okay,
what
of course
you were.
you don't.
No,
Of
I'm
course you don't.
legit. I
Okay,
don't.
Whatever, man. All right.
I was asking you to refresh my memory.
Gotta go pull that up. Edits.
All right.
Well, you said he would play this year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely said he shouldn't. But now I changed my mind.
Now you change your mind?
Yeah.
So you're right.
I've changed my mind for a different reason than yours though.
Okay.
Because of half of our topic last week.
Okay. So
I kind of agree with Tamala on this one though.
With Brandon
'Cause at the
Ingram.
time-
it don't matter. It don't matter. I was
No,
right,
you were right.
wrong.
You were right.
I don't
You
I don't even know why. I don't even remember why I stood on it.
No,
But-
I think it was all of us saying that Zion shouldn't be playing this year.
At the
and
time
Yeah.
of that conversation, they were in the middle of like a 10, 11 game losing streak.
No point in
It
bringing
looked
them
like they had no hope of the playoffs. It looked like a wash of a season.
Okay.
Since then, they've played extremely well. Derek Favors has come back, giving them a real boost.
Shout
and
out
they're
Derek
in the
Favors.
middle of the playoff hunt. Why not go for it?
I'm not saying it because of that reason.
Because you're gonna literally do what we were talking about with Memphis earlier.
But they have their pieces already.
Now they can get somebody out this
Like
lottery
who?
as well.
Like
That's
you have,
a lot of young pieces just to
exactly.
have.
Like you're better off keeping your veteran. Like I kind of agree with Tamala a little bit. You're kind of better off keeping a mix of veterans with the young guys you have. Like if your core is Lonzo, who's been playing really well,
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram, who has emerged as the number 1 option. Some people believe that. Most people believe that. One person doesn't. And then Zion Williamson.
So are you
who-
keeping Drew through all these bad?
He
Okay.
wants to.
No,
I don't.
I didn't say. I literally said this.
That's
I
so
said
terrible,
I
man.
said
That's so
if
terrible.
I didn't care about anything,
But how terrible are you if Zion's really good?
He's still.
we just want Drew to be in a situation where we can compete, and that's just us as
You
fans.
can get more. You can get more. I feel like long term. Because with this Pelican team, they're gonna cap out in the first round. They are not
Yeah.
getting out of the first round.
Yeah.
So why you think they make the second round this year?
Not this year, of course.
It's
not.
weird because I can't
Oh, I
ever
thought you
see
meant
Brian.
like- I thought you meant like-
Brian,
Bro, I
I'm
wish
looking
y'all would
at
see the
you.
faces that I see
I can't
Brian
because I'm
make.
looking
Yeah.
at you. So whenever
Go back
you get
and watch-
mad, I'm
go
like,
back
No,
and
I
go
thought,
to
I,
the-
thought
go
you
back
were
and
talking, I,
watch
thought
the
you were
pod.
talking, I thought you were talking about the future. That's why I looked at
I'm
you
like,
like
League,
that.
I'm just
what?
looking at you. Why you?
You're capping him as like on
This-
first round exit
no,
for the next 5 years?
this year
Okay.
they're not.
Of course not.
So that's what I'm saying. And even if you trade it, it might not be for like, maybe if it's not picks in this draft, it might be future drafts. OKC is loaded up for years to come. Even New Orleans. So why not? Because maybe New Orleans gets a few of these picks that they use, and then maybe the last 2 to 3 draft picks that they have, they actually traded for like a player at that moment. But I just think there's no need to kill yourself right now to get an extra week of basketball.
And here's the difference between Memphis, and it goes back to, I guess, it's a more mixed bag they're playing with.
Yeah.
You got guys like JJ Redick, never missed the playoffs. You got guys like Drew Holiday.
Do you
Solid
expect
veteran.
them to
Solid-
get out the first round?
So, it's not even about that at this point. It's actually about showcasing what's already here. Like if Zion comes
for four more games.
So-
why not? Bro?
So
Zion's here. Granted, he doesn't even have to be the best player on the floor. If he's just exciting, you've already set your organization up for something great, and you set up the fans for something great. The very reason why they didn't want to put him on the court back when they were having a 10-game losing streak is the very reason why that could be still the case now, playing him in the playoffs and playing him throughout this stretch.
So like going back to like the Memphis comparison, the thing I see the difference between Memphis and New Orleans is simply Memphis. You can obviously see they're still missing one piece. Like they're still obviously missing that piece. With New Orleans, you can legitimately say they might have their starting lineup already for the next 4 or 5 years. Lonzo, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Brandon, Zion, Jackson Hayes. That's 5 really good young players who you can roll with for the next 5 years.
I don't think because Nickeil at heart is a point. So
I think he's a combo.
But I
He's
think
looking like a combo.
And I
now.
think that's what Lonzo needs. I think he needs a combo next.
He's
to him.
looking like a combo right now. He's throwing up the ball a lot.
he is, but I don't know if is he knocking it down at a clip that you need your
He's a
starting
rookie.
two guard to. And that's what I'm just saying.
So is he
long-term,
gonna come off the bench for somebody?
I think
Because he's not gonna be he's not better than Lonzo.
he's
And I don't
not.
see him being better than Lonzo in the foreseeable future.
Remember, I think I was talking in the chat. I'm like, okay, so then like they still got Frank Jackson. So like, is that the
That's
one?
not, that's,
is
a,
that-
that's another solid. I don't think
is
he's a
that-
starter
is that-
level
so
player.
I'm saying, if you want him as your backup, you want Frank Jackson as your backup, and then going with Nickeil. So then, what did we bring JJ Redick on for? Because they gave him a nice little.
I said
check.
trade him. Those I would trade. Like I said, he wants to.
No,
be Drew.
you because I never
don't.
got my full point across.
That happens, bro.
It happens. But then, you know what I just
That was
did?
funny.
I didn't yell. I didn't scream at y'all. I didn't say, you'll never let me speak. I was like, eventually, I'm going to get my turn to
off your
speak.
points way more, and then that'll get annoying.
And I'm just going to wait and
we need
understand
we
that
need
I have a
stat-
chance to talk.
We need a stat,
I'm just glad it's not
we need
me
a
today.
stat person to be like, who gets cut off the most?
It's not you, Leak.
Yeah,
It's
I bet
not.
it is.
It's
I
not.
bet it
It's
is.
not. I put 100 mil. It's not you.
It's definitely not Greg.
It's not Greg. If anything, it might be Brian because he just be saying some wild stuff. But the point is, I said, if I didn't care about anything and I was just looking for the development of my young players, I keep somebody like Drew around. I could care less. But since I'm invested in Drew Holiday just as a fan, I would like to see him in a winning situation.
Yeah.
But what he can bring just around that young talent with like the way Chris Paul has helped develop and raise Shai's development exponentially, they're not winning anything. If they go to they're probably going to go to the playoffs. They're going to lose in the first round.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess I'm all for it. I'm all for the situation because I think the Pelicans do have something. I think they do bring something. If they make the playoffs, they do bring some excitement there.
It's super exciting. They're one of the best teams. They're one of the
They're
most exciting teams to watch.
I
in the
love
NBA.
watching them play. I
Yo,
love
shout out
watching
to
them
Alvin
play.
Gentry too, man. He's been coaching his
He's
tail
a
off.
he's a very good coach.
Oh, they're
And
the
a
most
lot of
exciting
people
team.
and a
to
lot
play.
of people
I know
have been
watch.
giving him a hard time because he was playing with that lineup so early. Trying to in
They,
terms of
they were
minutes.
also missing a lot of people. Like Derek Favors has quietly been one of the most impactful players in the NBA. Without him, they were really bad defensively.
Yeah.
With him, they've actually become a league
That
average
has shown
defense.
in like the last 15 games.
Like,
Yeah.
he has helped them out tremendously. Just being a veteran big man who knows where to be on the court. Jackson
Right.
Hayes has a lot of potential, a lot of tools. He just don't know where to be.
Yeah, he has to
I
learn.
mean,
He's still
he's
learning.
young.
Learner.
Yeah, he's young. He's young.
I'm not knocking for it. It's the reality. Like he just
But
don't
that
know
was
what
my
he's
whole
doing.
point. Like, if you move somebody like Drew Holiday, it's gonna be like what you're getting back is, I don't know. I feel like you have your core set. I feel like to round this out, because the topic was initially Zion Williamson coming back to play January 22nd or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and I was initially, like I said, sit Zion out for the year. Now I'm like, let's put him next to Bi and see if we're all in on Bi, because this is a contract year for him,
Yeah,
and
I don't.
Zion is your number one pick.
I don't think there's any question. I don't think I need
It
it.
shouldn't be a question. You just want to see how it is.
Yeah.
Just get a head start on it. Like, if y'all make the playoffs or whatever.
think-
Like, if y'all don't, whatever.
I think they should have offered him a contract yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
That-
In
that's
my
just me.
opinion. In my opinion.
B.I.
But I was saying, even if you offered him a contract, I just want to see him next to Zion, like, with some
I mean,
real NBA
technically
games.
It's too late, but I mean, like, he should already have his bag.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, he's going to get the bag.
But so
Somebody's throwing him a max.
I'm definitely a fan of what the Pelicans look like and seeing them in the playoffs, even if they get ousted by the Lakers or the Clips or whoever.
They're going to lose in the first round.
Like,
Easily.
Maybe even get swept.
that 1-8 is exciting to me. I'm sorry. Like,
It is.
Lonzo, B.I. back
I'm
in
going to watch
LA,
all 4 or
like,
5
what-
games.
So
Like,
what would you say is, I guess, what I view as more exciting? You could look at it one of two ways. Yes, those extra 4 games, or potentially, maybe for whatever the reason, there's maybe another team out there that could use an extra first round draft pick this year. You could put that with, y'all said what, trade JJ?
Yeah.
Okay, you put JJ. We're gonna move Drew, so maybe not Drew and JJ go to the same team, but like potentially another first round draft pick could increase something you get back in return. And instead of getting back draft picks, you might be able to get some player right now that would be worth. Because what is one reason where everybody
Brad Beal?
Not even saying Brad, because I don't think that would be enough.
Well, I'm saying if I'm not trading JJ, Drew, and a pick, if I'm not gonna get something.
I wasn't saying they were all going. I'm saying I think you keep either JJ or Drew. I think you keep JJ.
Like I would trade JJ and keep Drew through the summer. I would trade Drew in the summer. I would keep.
Just have
trade
2
JJ
separate
now.
trades eventually.
Yeah, I would trade JJ now,
or
I would trade Drew in the summer.
But either way, I'm just saying I would like for them to be able to put a pick with whichever one they're sending off, because I think that could get them back a immediate player that maybe could help them next year. So that way, when they're in the playoffs, I think if they keep this same core, I think they definitely are a playoff competitive team next year. And I think they could go straight into the playoffs and not it be viewed as y'all just here for 4 more games.
I think I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
If you package JJ Redick or Drew Holiday with an extra first-round pick, that's one reason why everybody is so afraid of the Warriors right now. Why? Because Golden State is about to package D'Angelo Russell.
But that's what I just said. That's why I
Yeah.
mentioned a superstar, or at least a star on the rise in Brad Beal. Because if I can make a trade like that happen, I'm all for what you're saying. I don't see that happening.
Yeah,
at least I don't foresee it. So what I'm trying to say is, if they go to the playoffs this year, 4 or 5 games. If they go to the playoffs next year, 4 or 5 games.
I think next year it could be def. I think.
You think they can get to the second round?
How good Zion is.
You're saying I don't think. I think a fully I think with a fully healthy Zion, like a whole NBA year under his belt of conditioning, losing weight, and all of that, I think they could go into the playoffs next year and potentially
push for the second round.
Even if they don't, I think this year they are for sure fire only can be an 8. I think next year they could potentially be a 7 or 6, maybe depending on just what they're looking like next year.
They still getting ousted in the first.
And that's
I think they will be more competitive though. This year we know they have no shot. We know they have no shot.
But what I'm trying to say is, Lee,
I don't. That's such a bad thing.
I don't think it's gonna be.
Like,
yeah,
they're young. I
think next year they're not gonna have a shot. Like even if they ended up, let's say, God granted, you said the high seed was 6. That's saying that's the high seed they're gonna reach. That was just the high seed I heard you name. They was a 6 seed next year. You know what I think is gonna happen? 4 or 5 games. Like that's what I'm saying.
Denver.
Like
you're playing Denver. You might be playing LA again.
That's what I'm saying. Like the West. Like if you're not top 4, you're just playing.
Bro. You just there.
I mean, the West is loaded at the end of the day. Until LeBron steps down, the Clippers look like they're going to be around for the foreseeable
Mind you,
future.
Steph and them are back
And
next
Steph and
year,
them are
bro.
back next year. Like, yeah, we totally forget about that. The West is just loaded from top to bottom.
And that's why I said they need to potentially trade and get another pick to bring another player in, because the West is getting.
So then you take the long
but
game.
this is where this is where
you can take the long game, and that's why I'm asking.
You
about
need
when
to, because you got guys that are so young.
But when
you're gonna have to play this long.
And I had said it earlier. I said we're cool with trading Drew for some picks or whatever. But when you said like you can package this and get a player back, I'm like, and you just said like make a better push for next year. That's not going to matter because we are pretty much inconsistent. I know you didn't say it, but like realistically, I know they're not getting out the first round next year. They'll be more competitive. Yeah. Maybe they push it to 6, but they're not getting it out of the first round next year. So if you're gonna play the long game, play the long game. I'm perfectly fine with that. But I don't see the point.
I said or the year after that. So
Yeah,
I said
he
year
said
I'm cool with
year
that.
2
That's still a first
and
round
year
exit.
3. They're
I
not
have
getting
to
out the
see-
first round.
Year 3 might be
I have to
a
see.
little something.
We got to see how good Zion is. If Zion is the wrecking ball that some people believe he is, this physically freak of nature that can come in and be 20 and 10, you're putting a 20 and 10 guy next to a 25-point scorer next to Lonzo Ball, who has looked like a triple-double threat now. At that point, you just need pieces around him. And that's a scary proposition. Because, hey, you love B.I., I love B.I., you love B.I. I don't know what you think about
I
B.I.
love
anymore.
Zoe too.
Zoe look really good.
Hey.
If you walked in, if you're talking about 2-3 years now, Brandon Ingram at 24, 25, hitting his prime, Zoe hitting his prime, Zion 2-3 years into the league, that's a tough 3-man rotation.
My baby Lakers.
And at that point, LeBron's 40. I don't think he's around anymore.
LeBron's fallen. LeBron is getting off of his. He will always be King James, but he's getting off of that throne this year.
We'll
It's
see.
not a lock. It's just not a lock
see.
anymore.
Clips are still there.
The Clips
Denver
will still be there.
exists. Michael Porter Jr. hits his
But
prime.
now,
with
hold.
Jokic.
See, here's my
The Warriors are still the Warriors.
Still the Warriors.
Giannis might be over there by then.
Whoa.
What are we talking about?
As much as y'all talk about the Clippers, and granted, I say they'll still be around, they're already talking about losing Montrezl this summer. Lou Williams 33.
Nah, the Clippers. Nah,
Lou Williams 33.
for the next 4 years.
Kawhi has been talking about his knee hurt forever.
I'm
3 years from now,
let's
you
not
cannot look at me in my face and say the Clippers are the same team.
I hear you, but I'll bet against
They're
that.
still a
They're
top
a
three.
threat.
But come on, bro.
I'll bet against that.
Come on, bro.
I'll bet
Paul
against
George
that.
can't stay healthy now. Kawhi can't stay healthy now, and you're telling me 3 years
Steph,
from now
how
they're
old
going to
is
be
Steph
healthy.
and Clay? How
You
old
can
is Steph?
guarantee me
How old
that.
is
I'm
Steph?
gonna
30,
give you a leak.
He's
They'll
there
be
around the
about
same
32,
age. Yeah.
33.
No,
I'ma
in
give-
3 years from
In
now.
3 years,
Yeah.
Steph is 30 now.
He'll be like 33.
I'm gonna give you a leak. I'm gonna give you a leak statement. You gotta respect them, bro.
Yeah, I was say, bro.
I'm not
That's
saying
not
they
respect.
disappear.
Nah, Brian-
but to say they're going to be the exact same team is like.
But no team's gonna be
we
exact
just
same
made-
team. But like they're
They're
going
all-
to be
We just
in the
made the
same
statement.
position.
So once
But we
again,
just made the statement. If the top 4 teams are probably in the West are probably the only teams that really have a legit shot.
okay.
The Clippers are gonna still be one of the
Clippers still
top
gonna
3,
be
4
there.
teams, so they're
Denver
gonna
is
still have a
still
legit
gonna
shot.
be
Hold
there.
up. Are
Golden
y'all-
State is still gonna be there.
I would say Denver will
So are
still
you
be
telling
there
me New Orleans Pelicans could be the 4 seed?
In 3
between
years.
them and Dallas.
In 3, yes, they can
In
be
3
competing
years?
for Dallas. Yeah, I
Because
can
once
say that.
y'all sitting up here, like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm not disrespecting the Clippers by any
The
stretch. I
Rockets
still
aren't going to
say
be the same in 3 years. They're going to be the next team out of this.
They're gonna be the first team out of everything we
Yeah,
just
they're
mentioned.
the first team to go.
Yeah.
Rockets are the first team.
Clearly.
To go.
they're done.
Respect. The first
This
team
is their
to go.
last chance.
But we're looking at Dallas.
I could say
essentially
Dallas
has
could
the
be-
best- We'll
only-
have the best player at
Yeah.
that time.
Who?
Luka will probably be the best player in the league
Probably,
at that time.
I'll give you that.
He'll be up there.
He'll
I don't
be
know
right
what's
in
gonna
the
happen with
conversation.
Giannis'
Right
development.
in the conversation.
Giannis'
It'll be
development
It
is.
depends on how Kawhi's knees holding up. It depends on how Steph is still playing.
I don't think it's that. I don't think in 3 years Kawhi's
Luka
not gonna
is
be
a
mentioned for the
stud,
first.
bro. Let's just be honest.
No, yeah, I'm here with you.
Hold on.
But I think
I'm
Giannis
the
is
only
gonna
person
be
that
up
had Luka in the top 2 of his rankings. So don't try to act like I'm disrespecting Luka.
I'm not
I'm
saying
also
that.
giving respect to everybody else
I have
though.
Luka at?
I love, huh?
What did I have, Luka?
La.
If you say 3, now you're just nitpicking.
Hey, I had him higher than you.
Hey man, finish your point. Finish your point. We don't care.
Once again, I'm not disrespecting Luka. I'm just saying Luka's definitely gonna be in that conversation of best player in the league at that point. No doubt about it. But Kawhi, if he's healthy, is still gonna be Kawhi. Like he's 32, 33. Like he'll still be at his supposed peak. Steph is still Steph Curry. Those guys are still amazing top 5 3 players in the league.
We said that.
Okay, so my point is simply just like this year when I say LeBron, Kawhi, these guys trade places. At the end of the day, it's just who's having the year that year.
But
you can't tell me it's gonna be.
I
Luka definitively.
combatively. I said like I know I didn't combatively. I agree with him. I said Bron isn't a lock for that King James thing anymore, and that was the point I was making.
Facts.
Kawhi in 3 years isn't going to be mentioned
I
as like
agree.
a lock for the
I'm
best
saying
player.
Luka
of the year.
is not a lock
and
for
if,
that either.
and who knows what's going to be happening with Giannis?
Facts. So my point back to the Clippers when y'all talking about saying they'll still be around. The Clippers starting lineup top 6 players right now. It's Kawhi, Paul George, Lou Will, Montrezl, Pat Bev, and I don't know who would you consider that 6?
I mean, in Zubac.
Okay. You can't tell me Pat Bev, Lou Will, Montrezl are still gonna be there in 3 years.
But they
Montrezl probably won't.
those
Lou
guys-
Will be 36.
It's just going to be older. But then
Pat
again,
Bev is struggling with
I
injuries
seen
right now.
Jamal
He's 30.
Crawford go for 50 and he was like
But
37.
Lou
It won't be the same.
Lou won't be that guy. At that point in time, I'll say this. I'll be realistic still as a Clipper fan. Like I said, I have dual fanship. I do think this team is only together though, like to try to see what can they rack up in like 3 to 4 years tops.
2-3. I give him 2-3.
Yeah, like and then because Kawhi's deal is I want to say it's 3 years and then the 4th is a player option. So like it's really to rack up in them first. This is not.
If they don't win this year and next year, whew, they in trouble.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Cause
All I'm saying is 3 years from now, if they're still together, Kawhi.
I don't think they'll be together. That's my point. Like Kawhi and Paul George, that may be it.
That's
Everybody else is gone.
and
Depends on what you replace him with.
and I'll go back to that. Like the Clips aren't dumb. Jerry Weston's dumb.
I agree with that.
Doc is dumb. Like people know how to restock, just like
Oh, yeah,
we say in
we
the
seen-
Warriors.
yeah, I was about to say,
Like,
we
Warriors
saw
about to
the
restock.
Warriors
So we willing to
rotate,
grant them
yeah.
all of this.
Look what the Warriors had to do to restock. They're at the bottom.
Okay, for 1 year.
That was a lot of injuries, bro. That was a lot of injuries.
I agree with that statement. Don't get me wrong. And once again, come on now. We all had the Warriors in our playoffs, so like, none of us thought they would be where they are.
You saw
right
how
now.
high I said they could actually go.
Go
Like
back
I
to
wouldn't have
the
been surprised.
So that's my point then.
But that's also my point. Like you have all these players who probably won't be there next year, and then you have 2 superstars who, at the end of the day, whether y'all want to admit or not, struggle with injuries. 3 years from now, you cannot tell me Kawhi and Paul George are the exact same players they are now.
I could say I didn't
literally
say they
just
were
said-
gonna.
I said it. This team was made to rack up in 2 to 3 years.
And I'm with Leak on this one. Like I think they have a 2 to 3 year window where they need to go at it.
And
we
what
were
is
talking about
what
3
is year
years.
3?
Year 3, I think is gonna be like the real year. You're like, yo, they are not the same.
Year 3 is year 3. And I'm looking
That's
at
where the
it.
holes start to
I'm
pop up.
saying we looking at a Dallas team that would be very much improved. With probably, I'm saying probably.
Who
the
knows
best
what
player,
pieces they have around him? Too.
Probably the best player in the league
That's
is Luka
scary.
Doncic.
It's
We'll
gonna be.
be right
He's
there.
gonna be top 5 minimum.
He's top
still
5 now, in my
minimum.
opinion.
Golden State shooters never forget how to shoot.
Facts.
And then you
I said
probably
Steph
have a
could play
James
till he's
Wiseman,
40.
or who knows? Everybody's talking about Giannis now. I mean, that's sick in itself. Denver is probably my favorite team
Facts.
at that time. Michael
agree.
Porter Jr. might be a top 10 player at that
Cool
time.
out,
Like
bruh.
You said top 10
top 10, he might be.
in 3 years.
He might be. I said what I said, and I meant it.
Man, this was a
Yo,
pod
shout out
full
to
of
the
wild
Pacers,
takes,
baby.
man.
Shout out to the Pacers, baby. Another big win.
So, hey, we're looking at a situation where I would not be surprised if New Orleans get ousted again early.
Okay, see,
And
now
you
I'm
get
back
the-
agreeing with you. This was just a pod where I really honestly feel like all 4 of us said something stupid, but it's okay. It evens out.
What did I say that was stupid?
You just had a little rant.
That one's
Just-
stupid.
Maybe I'm just being too harsh with the word stupid, but you know what I mean. Stuff that I wouldn't even agree with.
I feel you.
Y'all ready to get
Yo,
out of here?
I'm
man?
ready. Yo, I am hyped to see Zion. Victor Oladipo comes back next week as well.
Shout out, Vic.
shout out.
Yo, I like the Pacers a lot, man.
All right, let's go, man. Let's get out of here. We've been here long enough.
We have good pod though.
Very good pod. Very good pod. Brian, where can we find you?
Man, y'all know y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Only one Beecham, easy to find because I am the only one out there.
TK?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at King Taman. I don't got nothing as witty as Brian, so just follow me.
Leak?
Find me on Twitter and IG at Coach Leek. That's KOACHLEEK.
And you can follow.
Oh, wait. My bad. I actually do have some stuff to say. First of all,
Of course you do.
shout out to Dunkman Keith. He's not here this week. Him and his girl are in New York celebrating her birthday. Shout out her too. Tyra, you get
Shout
a
out
shout
Tyra.
out. So you got to shout us out, Tyra. I don't know if you I've ever seen you shout us out, so I'm calling you out. Shout us out. A couple other shout outs to this is going to be a little long because there's a lot of people
There's
actually
a lot of
interacting
people.
with us.
A lot of people.
So, thank God I remembered. Shout out, shout out Tet, shout out Taylor, shout out Raylan, shout out Josh, shout out Coop, shout out Ian, shout out Wes, shout out my little boy Avi at his baseball page, MLB Central. Oh my gosh, I know I'm missing some people. My bad, y'all. I'm tired. It's some other people that I want to shout out.
Yeah, shout out to everyone, man. People, the Get Up and Get It channel, they threw us on there. They threw us on their YouTube channel in one of the playlists. So we really appreciate stuff like that. Like all of that is very, very appreciated. We do not take that lightly at all. Like,
Yeah, did I say Josh? Shout out Josh.
I don't know if you did.
I don't think I said him.
So yeah, shout out Josh and the Get Up and Get It crew. Yeah, appreciate all of it. Please follow the pod on Instagram and Twitter at Hoops Minor Pod and at a Minor Hoops on Twitter. Please be sure to like, subscribe, share with another hoop head, man. We appreciate all the love. Like I said, we friends here. So at the end of the day, like we may get into it.
I get cut off a lot, but it's all good.
Like, I swear you don't,
I
bro.
do though. I do. You wouldn't realize because y'all are the ones doing the cut.
You know what I can say, Leak? You get cut off a lot because you have the longest monologues.
Facts.
You like literally when you talk, we let you go for the longest, so it feels like you're getting cut off, but it's because when you have your strength, your go-to like links, they're long.
You want your Stephen A. Radio show moment, but forget you on first take.
Get my thoughts out because I feel like a lot of times in the pod, I sit back and I be letting y'all go. A lot of times, so I'll be like this. So when if I am in the mic like saying something, just let me go because probably once I get that out, I'm gonna be right back here for a good little while.
That's not how this works, Leak.
Exactly. You're supposed to stay engaged in the conversation.
Hey, we're still learning.
Get y'all.
We're still learning. But yeah, we like I said, we appreciate it. Please be sure to like, subscribe. We got the live stream coming up for All-Star Break.
Hey.
I already hit up a few people that's gonna be on the show with us. We're gonna announce those people that's gonna be on with us on the next pod. Hopefully, after we get the whole list straight of all the people. Please be sure to jump in on that on YouTube. Let's go home, man.
Yeah. Actually, special shout outs. All right. Let me think. You know what I actually really do want to shout out?
Yeah.
And it's gonna sound
no, I don't.
All right. And it's going to sound weird, but I actually want to shout out all the people who played mad aggressive D for no reason in pickup games. The people that leave you with scars on your forearms, like the people who swear they're not fouling you, but they are.
Then I gotta treat you, and then I gotta treat you like Zoe. I gotta make you look like a baby out here.
And that's why I wanted to shout them out, because there was moments where like your bag's not gonna develop until somebody hacks you. Because it's something me and Alik always had a conversation about, like comparing like today's game and like the 90s game. And the old heads were like, oh well, you were allowed hand checking back then. And you know what Alik would always say? A hand ain't gonna stop a true scoring from scoring.
Hey, you remember we went to Pond Camp?
Bro,
You remember we went to
legendary.
Pond Camp? Run all 6
Legendary.
in a row?
Legendary.
All old heads.
Legendary.
All old heads. All that hand checking didn't mean a thing. Hey, as I always say, eat, sleep, breathe the game. We love you. We out.